Oh, uh, yeah, man, Lamar, man. Look, them quarterbacks, man, them running quarterbacks, they never win, man. Black quarterbacks have trouble, man. There's only one black quarterback left, man. No, it's two black quarterbacks left. It's two black quarterbacks left, man. It's two black quarterbacks left, and they playing each other. So we'll see, man. He said, I need an intro. Yeah, man. I gotta go to Fiverr, man. I gotta get somebody on Fiverr to make me an intro, man. I do have an intro for this channel, but I do need an intro for my videos, man. I need a new software to make my videos, put an intro on my videos. Yeah. I like just coming in cold though on my videos because sometimes intros they make me lose interest. When somebody had like a 30-second intro, I'm like, damn, man. I mean, it does make this video look professional and whatnot, but I don't know, man. I'm like Casanat, man. I'm just bringing it to you straight raw like Casanat, man. Or maybe Casanat like me. I'm just bringing it to you raw from the basement, man. What's up, man? Yeah, man. This brother right here, Keith Boykin, man. He having the conversation going on in the black community right now is so childish, man. Blacks are childish, man. Black people are childish, man. These niggas is talking about racism and shit right now. Can these people are sick, man. Black people are children, man. There's no hope for the black man, man. Dudes is following this guy, man. Dudes is following this guy. Dudes is following this guy, man. Brothers is following this guy, man. Homie is homie's politics is crazy. Uh Everyone hit the like button, man. Smash that like button, man. Let's get 100 likes fast, man. This on the screen, guys. This is the one and only son of Tony, Keith Boykin, man. This is Keith Boykins. Keith Boykin. No pun intended. Keith Boykin. He got a message for black people, man. He got a message for black folks, man.
Keith, I mean, what would you say? I mean, if Snoop were sitting right here at this table, what would you tell him?
Well, I had a disagreement with Snoop, I think, a year or two ago. Something he endorsed Rick Caruso.
Did you tell him?
He was supporting Rick Caruso, for mayor of Los Angeles, who I disagree with, and I stated that publicly as well. But you know, I think that a lot of these rappers are not the intellectuals in the community, as Teray was pointing out, but it's also a dishonor to the Black community.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Donald Trump, the man who would refuse to rent to Black people in the 1970s, who tried to lead a lynch mob against 5 Black and brown kids in the 1980s for the Central Park case, who refused to allow Black casino workers to have a prominent place in his casinos in Atlantic City in the 1990s, who spent 5.5 years lying about Barack Obama's birth certificate in the 2000s, who came into office and then attacked Black people like Colin Kaepernick, who attacked Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss for simply doing their jobs as Fulton County election workers. You dishonor those people when you go and perform for this man who has done nothing but dishonor Black people. And just last year, he was calling Haitian immigrants, accusing them of eating cats and dogs. This is not somebody that Black people should be associated.
No one will ever accuse you of eating a cat. Press 1. No one ever accused you of eating cat.
With and pretending to normalize. We should be challenging him. And it dishonors the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we honor on Monday, to celebrate this man.
Keith, I mean, what?
Yo, this is such a tired. Yo, Black people are embarrassing, man. Black people are embarrassing, man. This is so embarrassing, man. And he got in Twitter and all the Black people is like, oh yeah, you go, boy. I'm like, yo, these people are embarrassing. They trying to bring this racial shit. They trying to go racial. So that's the stance they're gonna take for the next 4 years, that somehow that Trump is a racist and we got to fight against racists. That's what they going with. This shit is Black people are children, man. Yeah, I remember that girl in Atlanta, Sequoia, forgot her name. Sequoia Taylor, some shit like that. Sequoia, yeah. The fact that what's dishonoring Dr. King is not the rapper's lyrics, not the rapper's behavior, but that they performed at the inauguration party. Again, I'm going to say this again. To this guy, what's dishonoring, the way the rappers are dishonoring Dr. King is by performing at the inauguration party, not by their behavior or the lyrics that they sing. None of that is dishonoring Dr. King. Just that they're performing those lyrics at Trump's inauguration party. Black people are children, man. We like little kids, man. We are literally little kids, man.
Keith, I mean, what would you say? I mean, if Snoop were sitting right here at this table, what would you tell him?
Well, I had a disagreement with Snoop, I think, a year or two ago. Something he endorsed Rick Caruso.
Did you tell him?
He was supporting Rick Caruso, for mayor of Los Angeles, who I disagree with.
So he's beefing. He was already beefing with Snoop because Snoop didn't vote for Karen Bass. Snoop didn't vote for Karen Bass, so he already had a pre-existing beef with Snoop. This shit is beyond word. These people are embarrassing.
Rick Caruso, for mayor of Los Angeles, who I disagree with. I stated that publicly as well. But I think that a lot of these rappers are not the intellectuals in the community, as Teray was pointing out, but it's also a dishonor to the Black community.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Donald Trump, the man who would refuse to rent to Black people in the 1970s, who tried to lead a lynch mob against 5 Black and brown kids in the 1980s for the Central Park case, who refused to allow Black casino workers to have a prominent place in his casinos in Atlantic City in the 1990s, who spent 5.5 years lying about Barack Obama's birth certificate in the 2000s, who came into office and then attacked Black people like Colin Kaepernick, who attacked Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss for simply doing their jobs as Fulton County election workers. You dishonor those people when you go and perform for this man who has done nothing but dishonor Black people. And just last year, he was calling Haitian immigrants, accusing them of eating cats and dogs. This is not somebody that Black people should be associated with and pretending to normalize. We should be challenging him. And it dishonors the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we honor on Monday, to celebrate this man.
So that dishonors Dr. Martin Luther King. But you out here being a whole pirate. That don't. You out here being a whole pirate. Don't dishonor Dr. King, though. You out here being a whole pirate, man. You out here speeding down the Hershey Highway. Somebody, yo, somebody cut his brake lines, man. He barreling down the Hershey Highway with no brakes, man. My nigga barreling down the Hershey Highway with no brakes. That ain't dishonoring Dr. King, though, man. My man just barreling down the Hershey Highway, man. Pedal to the metal, man. That ain't dishonoring Dr. King. Performer for Trump is, though. Hershey Highway, man. I want to break down each one of his points one by one, man.
Keith, I mean, what would you say? I mean, if Snoop were sitting right here at this table, what would you tell him?
Well, I had a disagreement with Snoop, I think, a year or two ago. Something he endorsed Rick Caruso. He was supporting Rick Caruso, for mayor of Los Angeles, who I disagree with. And I stated that publicly as well. But, I think that a lot of these rappers are not the intellectuals in the community, as Teray was pointing out. But
the rappers are not the intellectuals in the community. Now, but if anybody else said that, he would be crying racism. If a white person said that, he would be crying racism. If a white person said rappers aren't intellectual, he would be crying racism.
It's also a dishonor to the Black community.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Donald Trump, the man who would refuse to rent to Black people in the 1970s.
Where are all these Black people that Trump refused to rent to? Where are they? How come CNN or MSNBC has never done an expose or a documentary on those people or interviewed those people? "40 years after your application was denied at a property Donald Trump owned," which of course means that, because Donald Trump, he's going through all the applications one by one. Donald Trump, in all Donald Trump's properties, he he goes through each rental application one by one. He reads them all and then makes the determination. He does it because he's got that much time on his hands, man. You know, Trump got so much time on his hands. He could just go through each application for each rental application for every one of his business buildings, man. And then just, you know, sift through it and just find the black people and deny them, man. Trump, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's amazing, man. They don't know they think they dissing Trump, but they actually giving Trump props, man. I mean, to be a billionaire real estate mogul, a tycoon, a playboy, international playboy, and to still go through every single rental application in all of your businesses, all of your buildings, one by one, and sift out the black people and deny them to try to move in. That's just amazing, man. If we all had Donald Trump's resolve, man, and what time does he wake up, man? How does Donald Trump wake up in the morning, man? And where are these people, man? Has anybody in the chat ever seen an interview or a documentary with the people that Donald Trump refused to rent to in the 70s because they was black? Has anybody ever seen one of them? I would love to see some of these people, man. I'm not gonna lie, man, because that would have been a big thing for the campaign. Like, why didn't Kamala come out at one of her rallies with the black or whatever, the surviving black people, whoever's still around from that time, who Donald Trump didn't rent to? Why didn't they speak at the Democratic convention? I'm serious. Because Donald Trump didn't rent to black people in the 70s, man. We just got to believe that, man. I'm trying to find anything on it, man. If you got anything on this, man, we can see the people say something about this, man. Okay, here we go. We got a white man talking about it. Let's see.
Okay, this is an exclusive story that you have not heard anywhere else, but it begins the first time that Donald Trump's name ever made it into the New York Times. It was in 1973. He and his father were named in a racial discrimination lawsuit brought by the Federal Department of Justice against their real estate firm. That lawsuit by the Department of Justice claimed that the Trump management company systematically refused to rent to black people. African-American New Yorkers would apply for an advertised vacancy in a Trump building, and then they would just never hear anything back from their application, or they'd be told that the vacancy was listed in error, and actually that...
Well, here's the thing, man. You don't listen. Black people don't. If you put in a rental application, that doesn't mean you're going to get the apartment. And I'm sure credit scores and rental history have something to do with it. Can we see if this is the way they're setting it up, we need to see the credit scores and the rental history of those people who applied to Trump to live in Trump's buildings. You can't just tell us that they was black and they applied and they didn't get the apartment, so that means he's racist. You gotta tell us, was there rental? Like, did they have like a great credit score and great rental history? And even then, it still doesn't mean that it's racism. It could have been 20 applications for the apartment. Shout out to Laughing Dog. He says SKC makes the hottest intros on YouTube. It's not even a competition. He's way up there on the skills. Everybody else is everybody else. Who's SKC? Who is SKC, man? I don't know SKC, man. You gotta send me his information, man. The dude who did this one, the one I have for Rumble, the intro I have on Rumble, the dude who did that, I think he did a good job too. But yeah, they telling us a black person didn't get something, so it's racism.
A lawsuit by the Department of Justice claimed that the Trump management company systematically refused to rent to black people. African-American New Yorkers would apply for an advertised vacancy in a Trump building, and then they would just never hear anything back from their application, or they'd be told that the vacancy was listed in error, and actually that unit wasn't really available. One crucial part of the investigation in that case was when equally qualified white New Yorkers would show up at the Trump company, and they would inquire about those same apartments. Magically, the suit alleged, the apartment would be back on the market and available for the white applicant, even though the black applicant had just been told that that apartment was gone. That DOJ lawsuit against the Trump real estate company, it was ultimately settled a couple of years later when the Trump organization signed onto a consent decree in which they promised that they would desegregate their properties, start renting to black people. That's
Rachel. Do you like living around black people? Honestly, Rachel, do you like living around black people? Do you live around black people now? I've lived around black people. It's not all that. Rachel, it ain't all that. But I hope you get your chance to live around black people, man. And I ain't talking about those motherfuckers. I'm talking about black people. So you can get your fill, Rachel.
allegations and legal cases against the Trump Organization for racial discrimination. And over the course of this presidential campaign, it has become a hot point of contention. Hillary Clinton raised it in the first presidential debate. Trump responded to her bringing it up by saying that the consent agreement reflected no admission of wrongdoing. And then after he used that as the rebuttal, reporters at a lot of different publications and news outlets have looked into those allegations, to the way that suit was settled, to the other suits that were brought against Trump real estate properties. Today alone, the Las Vegas Sun published an account from a woman who now lives in Nevada who says she was one of the white people who was sent in as a tester at Trump properties after a black applicant would allegedly be told that an apartment was not available. She'd show up as a white applicant with basically exactly the same qualifications, and she'd be offered the apartment. That story today in the Las Vegas Sun. Woman recounting her own experience in being involved in those lawsuits. Mother Jones also had another story tonight on additional discrimination lawsuits brought against the Trump Organization, not in the 1970s, but in the 1980s. I can now tell you that NBC News has also been working on a report on the way the Trump management company allegedly discriminated against black people in rental housing. And in the course of the NBC investigation, they turned up what we've got exclusively tonight, a troubling eyewitness account from a man who worked as a rental agent at a Trump property. He says it was basically his job to do the discriminating. He says he was instructed directly to slow walk or outright reject potential tenants if they were black, because they were black. But listen to this. Listen to what he told NBC News when he was asked exactly how that instruction came to him and who was in the room while it happened.
Just take me back into that room. So you were sitting in the room, and who was there? Describe the scene to me.
A black lady completed an application for an apartment in the building, a one-bedroom apartment, as I recall. And it was a very professionally read application. It was checked and verified. There were no liens, no judgments against her. And she was calling me on a daily basis, wanting to know the status of her application. And one day, Mr. Trump and his son Donald came into the office, and I asked this Fred Trump what I should do with this application because she's calling me constantly. And his response to me was, you know, I don't rent to the N-word. Put the application in a desk and forget about it.
So Fred Trump used the N-word and told you we don't rent to people.
That is correct, yes.
Fred Trump.
And what was your response at that time?
Well, I was employed by them. I did what he said.
So this is the raw tape of an NBC producer in that diner, right, noisy diner, interviewing this rental agent who worked at a Trump property. And in the course of explaining basically how he says racial discrimination worked at the Trump organization back in the day when they were deciding who to rent to, he just mentions in recounting how this worked.
That Fred Trump. Now let's see if she mentions that it was Fred, that this guy says it was Fred Trump. Now I don't even know if Fred Trump said this, but Fred Trump is, I think, Donald's brother. He specifically said Fred Trump said that. Let's see if she says that. I don't believe this guy either way, but let's see if she says.
This is the raw tape of an NBC producer in that diner, right, noisy diner, interviewing this rental agent who worked at a Trump property. And in the course of explaining basically how he says racial discrimination worked at the Trump organization back in the day when they were deciding who to rent to, he just mentions in recounting how this worked that young Donald Trump was standing there alongside his father when he says the father instructed this rental agent not to rent to anybody who was black. And he says when Donald Trump's father explained that his policy was not to rent to anybody who was black, what he actually used was the N-word to explain that policy, while Donald Trump stood right next to him. Obviously, given that Donald Trump is now running for president, that's a very...
These are all accusations, and all these people hate Trump. All these people have an axe to grind with Trump, man. Shout out to D from Boston. He says, peace, Ak. Let's have a great show tonight. Salute, man. Gonna do our best, man. Shout out to Mr. Clockwork. He says, being a glider means being subjected to a test at any time. If we don't agree with the narrative, our life is destroyed. It almost means sons threatening our lives over mundane interactions. Keep working, Ak. Yeah, man, this shit is crazy, man. This is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed by the way black people are acting about this inauguration. I'm completely embarrassed by it, man. I'm embarrassed. This shit is embarrassing. Listen to this nigger. Listen to this homos. Oh my God, man. Listen to this Hershey Highway. Yo, listen to this dude, man.
Keith, I mean, what would you say? I mean, if Snoop were sitting right here at this table, what would you tell him?
Well, I had a disagreement with Snoop, I think, a year or two ago. Something he endorsed Rick Caruso. He was supporting Rick Caruso, for mayor of Los Angeles, who I disagree with. And I stated that publicly as well. But, you know, I think that a lot of these rappers are not the intellectuals in the community, as Teray was pointing out, but it's also a dishonor to the black community. Yeah. I mean, if you look at Donald Trump, the man who would refuse to rent to black people in the 1970s, who tried to lead a lynch mob against 5 black and brown kids in the 1980s.
Lead a lynch mob. Donald Trump tried to lead a lynch mob against 5 black and brown kids in the 1980s. And I've done so many videos on the Central Park 5. So you already know if you remember this channel, man. Hit the like button, man, and join the channel. Subscribe, all that good stuff.
against 5 black and brown kids in the 1980s for the Central Park case, who refused to allow black casino workers to have a prominent place in his casinos in Atlantic City.
He refused to let black casino workers have a prominent place in his casinos in Atlantic City.
In the 1990s, who spent 5.5 years lying about Barack Obama's birth certificate in the 2000s, who came.
Hey, fucktard, if you running for president, we get to campaign against you. We get to do everything we do to everybody else. The fucking Barack was running for president. When you run for president, that's a dirty game. You're going to get smear campaigns against you. Are you saying that Barack Obama should be able to run for president and the person running against him or the surrogates of the person running against him shouldn't, go hard and, try to besmirch his reputation in any way possible? Which is what we call campaigning in America? Huh? Kamala called Donald Trump Hitler. She said he's a threat to democracy. She said he's the worst person ever. But Donald Trump can't campaign against Barack Obama because, Barack Obama, he's a lowly, weak black man, and he need a leg up, man. He need extra special treatment, man. I know this is a presidential election, but he black, man, and because of the history of this and the history of that, the black candidate needs special treatment. You got to take it easy on him, man. This guy is fucking horrible, man.
Black casino workers to have a prominent place in his casinos in Atlantic City in the 1990s, who spent 5.5 years lying about Barack Obama's birth certificate in the 2000s, who came into office and then attacked black people like Colin Kaepernick, who attacked Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss for simply doing their jobs in Fulton County election.
Sir, he's so gay. Yo, homie is extra gay, but he sounds like a woman, man. His logic's is that something that happens when you're gay for a long time? Do you start becoming like taking on a woman's logic? Because that's part of the role. Like, are you taking, like, his logic is crazy. Colin Kaepernick is not black, and Colin Kaepernick was not attacked. Colin Kaepernick was not attacked. Colin Kaepernick, as the backup quarterback, stood front and center during the national anthem and kneeled on national TV, which shocked everyone's sensibilities because we'd never seen it before. We were wondering, why is the backup quarterback, why is he not like looking over the playbook just in case the starter gets injured? Why is the backup quarterback putting himself in front of the cameras and kneeling during the national anthem? Everyone was shocked by that. No one attacked Colin. He shocked our sensibilities. We were stunned. We were like, what the hell is this? It was new. Then everybody started kneeling, so then it became less. After like a year of that shit, people stopped even tripping off of it because they had gotten used to it. But he was the first guy to do that. He sought attention. He looked for the cameras, and then he kneeled during the national anthem as the backup quarterback. He wasn't even going to play in the game. He was just going to stand on the sidelines and hold a clipboard. That shit was crazy. Had he been the starter, people might have been like, oh, okay, this is all right. He about to go out there and play. But he's doing some shit. Maybe we could. He was the backup doing that shit. What are you talking about, dude? Nobody attacked Colin Kaepernick, man. He attacked our mores, our values, and our sensibilities with that insane act of kneeling for the national anthem on national TV in front of a packed stadium. Shout out to Mr. Clockwork. He says being a oh yeah, he said, yeah, man. Shout out to Mr. Clockwork.
Came in office and then attacked black people like Colin Kaepernick, who attacked Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss for simply doing their jobs in Fulton County.
Yeah, but those women were doing more than their jobs. Those women were dirty and they were fucking. They beat the case. That's all. Those women just beat their case under a corrupt regime. The fact that those ballot, what do they call them people? Those
Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay.
People that work at the voting precinct. The fact that those people beat their case under the Biden administration. The DOJ found no wrongdoing under the Biden administration by those women that were counting the votes in Atlanta. That doesn't mean they're innocent because they were found not guilty by Biden's DOJ. What do you mean, man? All your points are stupid, man.
Shay Moss for simply doing their jobs as Fulton County election workers. You dishonor those people when you go and perform for this man who has done nothing but dishonor black people. And
he's done nothing but dishonor. Donald Trump has done nothing but dishonor black people. That's all he's done.
Dishonor those people when you go and perform for this man who has done nothing but dishonor black people. And just last year, he was calling Haitian immigrants, accusing them of eating cats and dogs. This is not somebody that black people should be associated with and pretending to normalize. We should be challenging him. And it dishonors the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we honor on Monday to celebrate this man.
Keith, I mean, what?
And look at the other black man they got up there. It's fucking fruit, man. He might not even be a fruit, but he act like a fruit. He might be straighter than 6 o'clock, but he still got the aesthetic of a fruit. Think about how black people are, man. I never knew Nelly was this damn slow and ignorant. That interview was damn ridiculous. So let's see what the black people think was ridiculous about this interview.
I thought you was riding with me because I put on for my city and I try to bring my city up every step of the way. I did not know you was riding with me because you thought I would ride for who you voted for. I didn't know that. I apologize. I apologize. I didn't know that I had to agree with your political choices. And I thought it was the things that you do, not the things that you say should be done. If you follow what I do, this shouldn't even be an argument. He's the president. He won. This isn't a campaign. This isn't an RNC. I'm not out on the political campaign. I didn't get none of that 1.5. You see what I'm saying? Like to try to help somebody get voted.
Kamala didn't invite you to
No. She didn't invite me.
I didn't invite me either, man. I was going to do all that
saying. Like, so, but I don't knock the ones that did. I don't knock the brothers and sisters that benefited from it. I don't knock the correspondents that made.
Yeah, but they knock you though. They knock you. See, this is the thing. You can't soft shoe with Democrats, man. You can't soft shoe with liberals. He's soft shoeing. He not knocking them for supporting Kamala, but they're knocking you for performing at Trump's inauguration. They're calling you every name, everything but a child of God on the internet. You're canceled by black people. They're knocking you. Press 1.
Like, so But I don't knock the ones that did. I don't knock the brothers and sisters that benefited from it. I don't knock the correspondents that may have gotten money to do that. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because it's an honor. I respect the office. It don't matter who is in office. The same way that our men and women, our brothers and sisters who protect this country, have to go to war and have to put their life on the line for whoever in office. So if they can put their life on the line for whoever in office, I can damn sure perform for whoever.
What do you say to the people that say we're not giving you this backlash because of your political affiliation or your political choice or whatever? We're giving you this backlash because you are propping up a white supremacist.
Oh shit! Black people are children, man. Like literally, this sounds like something a child would say, man. This don't even sound like an adult, man.
That say we're not
for whoever.
What do you say to the people that say we're not giving you this backlash because of your political affiliation or your political choice or whatever? We're giving you this backlash because you are propping up a white supremacist.
I would ask them to show me where he's a white supremacist, and here's the thing. Okay, I get it. He did say if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? Oh no, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Hold on. He did create.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
He did create the crime bill in the 90s, which said that if you get caught with 5 grams of crack, you do a mandatory 5 years. That had mass incarceration. I think even the Vice President Kamala spoke on that part that said that the crime bill played a huge part. He didn't do that. Let me see. What did he do? I'm trying to think. The white supremacy. Hold on. I'm gonna get to it. Okay. He did not rent to black people. What was it, in the 70s or the 80s? Is that what they said? And like, okay, is he written to him now? So nobody's allowed to change, right? See, here's the thing. So,
see, he fucking up. He giving them. You can't give him anything. Like, just because somebody filed a lawsuit. Yo, do you know how many times my stepfather went in housing court with black people who tore up his properties? Yo. One black lady tore up my stepfather's property so bad that her kids left fucking black streaks all over the fucking stairwell. The wall going up the stairwell was all black from their little fucking hands rubbing up against it over the years. Everything was torn up in the house, and they didn't pay rent for months. Had to be taken to court to get him out of there, and then they sued him. Black people are going to sue you, take you to rental housing court. Black people are going to take you to housing court. They're going to sue you after they don't pay rent for a year. After you got to get the marshals to come get them out, they're going to turn around and sue you. Trust me. Anybody who had property know dealing with black tenants is rough, Jack. It's rough. You get some black tenants, you get some good ones. Don't get me wrong. You get some good black tenants. You know what I mean? You get some good ones. But the ratio is the worst of any race. The ratio is the worst. The percentage of the ones that's going to be bad is too much you can't survive off of it. Because anything, the bad outweighs the good. And I never blame anybody for not wanting to rent to black people. especially after they've dealt with black people.
We can talk about past, but we never want to talk about our past. If we bring up, if our past get brought up in our community for a lot of what our men did, we always call it rehabilitation. Yo, these young brothers, we've been through a lot. I know I've been through a lot. If my past was what was going to prevent me from winning today, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that he ain't got some fucked up ways. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's why I'm not telling you who to vote for. But what I'm saying is that,
yeah, but they're telling you who to vote for. And they're not admitting that their candidate has any fucked up ways. They won't concede to you that their candidate has any fucked up ways. So right there you lost, Nelly, because you're conceding things and they're fucking acting and they're taking a hard line. They're pushing the line. That's why you're gonna get canceled, dog. You canceled, man. You don't know how to play the game, man. Here go another rapper that's getting canceled by the black Democrats. Shout out to Dern, man. Dern said, I'm black and I wouldn't rent the Suns then and now. Shout out to Dern, man. Facts. Let me salute to Aster J, man. He says, the bloody history of the Democrat Party towards blacks, and these ninjas say nothing about it. These motherfuckers, ninjas are a disgrace. Embarrassing, man. So here go another rapper that's performed at Trump's inauguration party. And he's canceled too.
They pay me a bag. Obama ain't never put no money in my fucking pockets, nigga. Kamala ain't never put no money in my pockets, nigga.
Right off the bat, man, you already losing, soldier boy. You explaining, man. You explaining. You supposed to say, fuck it. I did that shit because I wanted to. Fuck y'all. Fuck all y'all homo-ass Democrats. I did it because I felt like it. That's the only answer. I did it because I felt like it. Fuck you. Fuck off. Eat a dick. Bye. That's the only answer, soldier boy. All this shit is you losing, man.
They pay me a bag. Obama ain't never put no money in my fucking pockets, nigga. Kamala ain't never put no money in my pockets, nigga. Trump put money in my pockets, nigga. Are trying to say something about me performing at the crypto ball party. Did Kamala call my fucking phone? Did Obama call my motherfucking phone? Did any of you call my motherfucking phone? Oh, God. Fuck you, man. I do what the fuck I want. Trump call my phone. It wasn't even a Trump event. Trump wasn't even there. Y'all so worried about he performed, him, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross. Kamala, you ain't even win. Obama, you ain't called my fucking phone. I'll suck my dick, nigga. Y'all want me to not answer the phone of the fucking president? Get the president of the motherfucking United States. Trump wasn't even there. It wasn't even a Trump event. It was the crypto ball for crypto. Y'all can suck my dick, cancel me all day. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. On my nigga, I don't give a fuck when nobody talking about what the fuck I want to do. And I'll go again. Fuck you talking about. They pay me.
Black people are fucking retarded, man. God damn, man. What's wrong with us, man? What is wrong with us? Why we act like this, man? What's wrong with us, man? Why we always act like that, man? Why we gotta be the grace that always talking about some dumb shit? Racism and slavery and shit. Shit sad. The only one that should be ashamed of themselves is Snoop. Snoop is the only one that should be ashamed of himself because Snoop literally called people Sambos and shit and jigaboos for performing that in 2016. Snoop the only hypocrite. All these other niggas need to say, man, fuck y'all. Eat a dick. Salute to D from Balls. He says, because of sons, I don't rent to them or any Section 8 tenants. They will destroy your property. Yeah, sons will destroy your property. Sons had a federal agents in your property. Sons have federal agents storming your property. Sons have a shooting. Your property will be a crime scene. Your property on a fucking news, man. Yeah, everybody, man, hit the like button, man. We gonna get into all the good shit in a second, man. I'm slow walking it, man. I just wanna everyone hit subscribe too, man. If you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel, man. If you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel. Give me your subscription now. Give me your damn subscription now. We have 45,000 subs. 45,193 subs. Let's get to 45,200 subs. We need 7 more subs, man. Make sure y'all sub now. Oh, please. Please, yeah. Subscribe, please, man. Please, man. Please. Thought I was talking to one of my kids, man. Please, man. Please subscribe, y'all. I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. Look at these niggas. Look at the way these niggas acting. Look what they talking about. They running around talking about niggas performing at a presidential inauguration ceremony is a disgrace to Dr. King. Look at these niggas.
Indianapolis and Cumberland police are trying to figure out if there's a connection between a shooting on the Far East Side yesterday morning and a homicide involving one of the suspects today. Fox 59's Russ McQuaid spent the day sorting out all of the details in a pair of crimes that may be more than just coincidence.
Listen to this shit. This is just one area. This ain't even one city. This is one neighborhood. One interaction, one group of black people in one city. And this is going on in every city, every day.
Indianapolis and Cumberland police are trying to figure out if there's a connection between a shooting on the Far East Side yesterday morning and a homicide involving one of the suspects today. Fox 59's Russ McQuaid spent the day sorting out all of the details in a pair of crimes that may be more than just coincidental.
There's blood and bullet holes on the front porch of a house here in the 1800 block of Holloway Avenue in Martindale, Brightwood, where a man was found fatally wounded this morning, 24 hours after he was arrested by Cumberland police in a report of a shots fired incident. Early Saturday morning, Cumberland police responded to a pair of shots fired incidents in the 11,300 block of Knoll Ridge Court, where they spotted two men, one of them with a gunshot wound to the head, running away. Kion Crabtree was one of those people fleeing the scene as police recovered 3 guns, ski masks, money, and drugs. Investigators are testing the guns to determine if the wounded man was a victim of friendly fire or a potential unknown robbery victim shooting back. Then, about 24 hours later, IMPD got a run to a street in a Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood.
This morning at approximately 3:28 a.m., officers were called to the 1800 block of Holloway Avenue on a report of a possible DOA.
A man was found inside a house, fatally wounded after a witness and evidence indicates he was shot perhaps a few hours earlier out on the sidewalk.
Officers located multiple shell casings outside the house. At about 11:50 last night, there was a shots fired run in the same area. 3 officers canvassed the area. There was a call from on this block that said they thought they heard some shots fired. 3 area officers canvassed the area. Of course, they're not going to look inside of houses. They're going to cruise the outside and look around.
Officers came, canvassed the area. These niggas rely on police. These niggas have so much crime. And then they'll say, oh, well, why the police in our neighborhood? That we're being over-policed. We're being over-policed.
Around between the houses and things like that.
The dead man was identified as Kion Crabtree. A witness told me he admitted being in trouble in Cumberland earlier in the day, but had returned to a house where he was staying on Holloway to make some phone calls. But he wasn't spotted until more than a half hour after the gunshots were heard. Crabtree had a history of failed attempts to collect money he was owed for various work on cars and houses. The witness couldn't speculate as to what Crabtree and his partner, a Beech Grove teenager, were doing in Cumberland with 3 guns firing shots in an apartment complex. A witness tells me Crabtree didn't have a car and only hung out in this neighborhood occasionally, which tells me either the killer is from this neighborhood or sure knew how to find him in the middle of the street in the middle of the night. In Martindale, Brightwood, Russ McQuaid, Fox 59 News.
And these niggas talking about race, Trump is racism, racist, and all this bullshit. Look at this. What the fuck is wrong with these niggas, man? What is wrong with us?
Man is recovering after he was shot in the head while sleeping. At least 3 homes were hit by gunfire overnight in the Clearboyne Park Heritage. Man is recovering after he was.
Listen to this. All this stuff is happening today. This is all things that happen today. And these niggas is running around. The biggest conversation in the black community right now is rappers dishonoring Dr. King by singing their gangster lyrics at a Trump inauguration.
Man is recovering after he was shot in the head while sleeping. At least 3 homes were hit by gunfire overnight in the Clearboyne Park Heritage Landing Apartments in South Memphis. WREG's Melissa Moon talked to the victim's mother, who was also in the home at that time. Tonight, she says she's trying to figure out what exactly happened.
A Memphis mom spent most of Sunday in the hospital after her son was shot in the head while sleeping on the 2nd floor of her apartment on Tate Avenue.
He's doing fine now. He's out of surgery.
The woman, who didn't want to be identified, says the gunfire came from the back of her home. She was sleeping in a front bedroom and didn't hear a thing.
My son actually woke me up screaming, hollering, telling me he was hit.
Her son's girlfriend was also in his bedroom but wasn't hurt. They both told police they dove to the floor when the gunfire started. Investigators found bullet holes upstairs and downstairs. A bullet also came through a neighbor's window.
It was just a random shooting. I don't know what's going on. It wasn't at my home. I don't know. All 3 homes got shot. And I've been staying over there 10 years. I never had a problem.
She says one of the bullets also hit a power line to her air conditioning unit and knocked out her heat. She says doctors left the bullet in her son's head, but she's grateful he's alive and expected to make a full recovery.
His favorite line is, God don't play about him. And I told him, God don't play about you. Because you got a bullet in your head and he's up talking and he's up laughing.
For your news leader, I'm Melissa Moon in South Memphis, WREG News.
First at 10 tonight, a family is remembering a Holly Springs teenager who was killed earlier this week. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Shay Arthur. A vigil was held in the same spot that young man lost his life. WRG's Brian Didlake attended the vigil and has more from the family, who says, while this cuts deep, they're calling for an end to gun violence.
Lord, only you know best, God. You know what happened, Father God. You know how to fix this thing, God.
Heads bound. Yeah, your little son was out there drilling, and he got drilled. That's what happened in this case. Her son was out there in them streets, and he got drilled. We don't know how many people he drilled before he got drilled.
The community supporting one Holly Springs family as they mourn the loss of 16-year-old LaQuavion Williamson.
LaQuavion
Springs family as they mourn the loss of 16-year-old LaQuavion Williamson.
1, 2, 3.
Earlier this week, Marshall County Sheriff's Office says Williamson was shot several times in the chest in the Holly Springs town square. At one point, deputies say Williamson entered a smoke shop looking for help, where he was later found on the shop's floor. He died sometime later.
And I felt when he got shot, I felt he was trying to get away from them and everything. I still don't know the whole story.
A story still being...
Look at all these women, man. All these women. That's what that boy grew up around. That boy grew up around all these women. And it wouldn't have been no different if he grew up around the men. Because all the men talk just like these niggas that we fucking talk, that we showing you on the that I just showed you. The men ain't no better. The men ain't no better. But these women, goddamn, man. Grow up around these. This what you grew up around? This what that boy was coming up under? This?
Floor. He died sometime later.
And I felt when he got shot, I felt he was trying to get away from them and everything. I still don't know the whole story.
A story still being investigated by police as they try and figure out what led to shots fired. But Brown said the situation is still hard to wrap her head around.
He worked it for his. I'm a hard-working mother.
He worked it for his.
He worked it for his.
Hard to wrap her head around.
He worked it for his.
Wrap her head around.
He worked it for his.
Wrap her head around.
He worked it for his.
Her head around.
He worked it for his. I'm a
around.
He worked it for his. I'm a hard
round.
He worked it for his. I'm a hard-working mother. I made sure he got it. Right. He don't have to take anything from nobody. Right. But they took his life. That's a life that I got to be buried with.
The family says what hurts more.
Say, rest time.
Williamson leaving his son and girlfriend behind.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
16-year-old with a son. So that means he had the baby when he was 15. 16-year-old, how old does his son look? His son, yeah, that son looked like he looked like he about 10 months. So he's 16. He had probably had the baby when he was 15.
Friend behind.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But you for everybody. hard. You my left hand. I don't know what I'm gonna do without you, but only thing I say, I'm gonna be the best mama to your child.
Tears showing the real impacts of gun violence as the local NAACP speaking on behalf of the family saying enough.
So the NAACP is out here speaking at this shit. Black people are a mess, man. We gotta lay low, man. Black people should just lay low, man. We too much in the front. We too much like in the public eye, man, to have all these issues, man. We lucky that don't nobody ever call us out on this shit. Hit the like button, man. Smash the like button, man. How many likes I got, man? Tell me how many likes I got.
Is enough.
And everybody says nothing we can do about it. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. We can love. We can get more involved. We can pay more attention.
While brothers Martez and Marquay Monger have since been arrested and charged in connection to Williamson's murder, the family leaves this message.
Mine's already gone. I don't wish no death on nobody's child. But whatever the justice is gonna be served, it's gonna be just, it's gonna be served.
All right, mama. I ain't mad at you, mama. That's how I be, man. Mama, the mamas is, I mean, what you can't, what they say, wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are.
They're gonna be served.
In Holly Springs, Brian Ditlake, WREG, News Channel 3.
Such a tragic situation there, and the family has set up a GoFundMe to help with burial expenses. You can.
This is what's going on in your community. This is what's going on in your fucking community.
Man is recovering after he was shot in the head.
And I'm trying to only do stuff today, man. I'm trying to only do stuff that happened today, man, in your fucking community, man.
Tonight, we're hearing from the family of the man suspected of killing one person and injuring another in a shooting at a North Hills restaurant yesterday.
Raleigh police identified the man who died as Jonathan Schaefer, adding that the person injured is Jonathan Aguilar Vega. Sources tell CBS 17 the suspect is George Collum.
Tonight, I reached out to the suspect's father and received a statement saying that the family is saddened by the loss of Mr. Schaefer and grieve for his family. He went on to say, "We also share the pain with Mr. Aguilar. We're focused on our own son right now and want our privacy respected during this time." He goes on to say, "My son will soon pass away, and we just want to bury our son in peace." Tonight, CBS 17 Sonic Embargo spoke with visitors returning to North Hills who tell us they are still shaken by what happened.
A bullet hole in the window, a reminder of the fatal shooting at French restaurant Coquette.
But as I drove through, there was just police cars all the way up down these streets through the mall.
Todd Stiefel lives in North Hills and drove right by the scene Friday morning.
Sad and scared and frustrated because I feel like this kind of thing just keeps happening again and again and again.
Police.
Yeah, and who's doing it? And who's doing it? Who's doing it? Again and again and again. Who's responsible for it? Again and again and again.
Say the shooting happened just before 11 a.m. Friday. A man walked into Coquette and shot and killed another man before turning the gun on himself. A third man was also hit. Raleigh police identified the
man. That nigga shot a man, then turned the gun on himself. What, they was gay or something? They was having a relationship or something?
man who died as Jonathan Schaefer, the other victim as Jonathan Aguilar Vega. He was treated and released from the hospital. Sources tell CBS 17 the man accused of shooting Schaefer and Aguilar Vega is George Collum Jr.
That absolutely could have been me. It could have been one of my kids or the age to be, around this area and hanging out. You never know.
Schaefer's LinkedIn profile lists him as a manager at Urban Food Group, which owns Coquette's. Collum's social media accounts indicate he's a chef at the restaurant.
I've been to that restaurant many times. You could imagine being there with your family, having a
a bite to eat and something like that unfolding.
The restaurant closed Saturday and listed as temporarily closed online. Friends and coworkers put up messages in the window remembering Schaefer. Shoppers still on edge. News of the shooting.
Yeah, niggas will close down your restaurant too. Here go the shooting victim.
We're still working to confirm more information tonight in the shooting at North Hills that left one man dead, one wounded, and the shooter critically hurt. We found out some additional details. Meanwhile, more expressions of grief this weekend for this man right here, 26-year-old Jonathan Schaefer, who lost his life in that shooting. Eric Miller spoke today with people who knew and worked with him.
Those who knew the man killed here at North Hills, Jonathan Schaefer, say he was a good guy, well-liked by everybody. And tonight, friends, coworkers, customers are all still trying to wrap their heads around what happened here. Saturday at Coquette, shattered glass and shattered hearts.
I said that he was just a kind and beautiful soul.
Katie Kerrigan and Kira.
I want to know who shot him. It sounded like it was an Ombrito. They say Vega or some shit like that. They killed himself. This sound like some booty bandit shit, man.
Dylan taping up these heartfelt goodbyes to their manager and friend, Jonathan Schaefer.
He made sure to get to know every single coworker on a personal level.
Kerrigan and Dylan worked with Schaefer at another restaurant, but his kindness and personality compelled them to come to Coquette, their tribute joining this earlier message. Signed by two customers, Barbara and Randy Jones, it remembers Schaefer as kind, attentive, astute. He stood out to us as someone with a bright future. 26.
Look at the eulogy white people get. Nigga get he was funny. All we get was we was funny. Listen to what white people get, man.
Kind, attentive, astute. He stood out to us as someone with a bright future. 26-year-old Schaefer was killed, and another server, Jonathan Aguilar, was injured Friday morning when witnesses say Coquette's executive chef, George Colum, opened fire before turning the gun on himself. WRA.
Wow, this is sad.
Yeah, is still working to confirm the motive behind those deadly shots.
It's shocking because I actually seen someone post.
Sorry, black people. I thought that was y'all that did this, man. I'm sorry, black people. I was wrong, man. I was wrong, black people. I accused black people of this just off reflex, just off instinct, and it turned out to be a white man. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, black people.
To the video of them bringing, the deceased body out right where I parked my car. And I sat every day to pick my husband up from work.
Maxine Huggins' husband briefly worked at Coquette under Colum. She says he'd seemed like a good guy and hopes the shooting shines a light on mental health in the service industry.
A lot of chefs, employees in the hospitality restaurant industry, they go through a lot of stress. And nobody really pays attention to them. They're expected to come into work, show up, do your job, go home, come back and do it all over again. But there has to be something done, for these people.
It's not clear what the future holds for Coquette. This morning, much of the content of Coquette's website was erased, and the restaurant has been closed all day. We've reached out to Coquette's owners for comment today, and so far have not heard back. In Raleigh, Eric Miller,
I'm sorry, man. I apologize, man. Let's see this one. Let's see this one. Let's see if we get back. Let's see if we can get back to black, man. Let's see if we can get back to black, yo. Let's see if we can get back to black with this one, man. Don't worry, everybody. Shortly, we're gonna be talking about the topic, the realtor racially abused by the Karen, man. We're gonna get to that soon. If you're here for that, stay tuned. We just going around the country seeing what black people is up to, man. Before the country goes full racist, man. When Trump is inaugurated tomorrow, because tomorrow a flip is going to switch and it's going to turn. This country going to go back to 1832 tomorrow when the clock strikes 12 tomorrow, man. This country going to descend back into 1832, man. All you black people, man, you better lock your doors, man. The slave catchers is coming. So let's see how black people are preparing for the institutionalization of slavery tomorrow, man. Let's see what black people are doing the night before slavery is reinstituted.
Manner of death is not an accident, and this is not a suicide. This is a horrible homicide.
That was Richland coroner Nada Rutherford just a couple hours ago giving a shocking update on the heartbreaking murder of 13-year-old Kanaya Baker. Now tonight, Columbia police say 2 teenage girls are facing murder charges with potential to be prosecuted as adults in connection to Baker's death. News 19's Victoria Samuels shares what police said happened to this 13-year-old.
Brutal, heinous, vicious, gruesome, monster. Brutal, heinous, vicious, gruesome, monstrous, and disturbing. These are the words I use to describe this murder investigation.
That investigation began Wednesday when a body was found inside a burning home on Cardamom Court. Richland County Coroner Nada Rutherford says DNA and dental records were needed to identify the victim as 13-year-old Kanaya Baker, who had been reported missing earlier this week. Rutherford said that Kanaya had been bludgeoned, stabbed, and burned.
And unfortunately, the description provided of Kanaya Baker was so different, in fact, that even the pictures that they sent of her just did not seem to match up. Due to severe trauma to her head, face, and body, visual identification just was not possible. The manner of death is not an accident, and this is not a suicide. This is a horrible homicide.
Columbia Police Chief Skip Holbrook announced today that 2 suspects in the murder were arrested overnight. One is a 16-year-old girl who Holbrook says had been in DJJ custody and had recently removed an ankle monitor. The other suspect is a 15-year-old girl. Holbrook says both of the teens are frequent runaways. Richland's solicitor says based on the level of the crime, they are looking to charge the teens as adults.
But based on what we've seen at this point, it was brutal, it was heinous, it was all of those words the chief used. And we expect, after the review of this information, to petition the family court to prosecute these juveniles as adults because of the heinous nature of what happened.
Police have not announced a motive in the case. In Columbia, Victoria Samuels, News 19, WLTX.
And Columbia City officials are also speaking out about 13-year-old Kanaya Baker's murder. The city manager, Teresa Wilson, saying in part, Kanaya's death has shaken me at my core. Then she goes on to say we must continue to ensure that all of our...
Oh, man. It doesn't seem like we're prepared for tomorrow, man, when slavery is reinstituted, man. Let's see.
Tonight, followed home and robbed. A Bel Air man was boxed into his driveway after coming home from the jewelry store that he owns. ABC 13's Luke Jones is live in Bel Air with the warning police have for everyone tonight. Luke.
Yeah, and it's a good thing the victim wasn't injured and those suspects weren't robbed, but he tells us he had no idea he was even being followed home. Things like this have happened before, which is why police are saying if you're coming home from the store, possibly the bank, probably a good idea to check your rearview mirror and make sure there's no one following you.
You just got me? Why me?
This jewelry store owner doesn't want you to know who he is, and he doesn't want what happened to him yesterday to happen to anyone else.
Luckily, praise God that they didn't pull guns out.
He was driving home from work.
I went by Wendy's to get me some chili.
Not knowing he was being tailed the entire time. He pulls into his driveway on this street near Bissonnet and 610 when a silver pickup truck pulls up and blocks him in. Police say Timothy Singleton and Stafford Johnson get out.
Shocking, man. I know you shocked, Mystic Philly, man. You surprised by this, right? Salute the Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. So yeah, man, I think these guys just trying to get their jewelry up, man, their jewelry game up, because this the last day before slavery is reinstituted. So black people, we got to get we got to do everything we can tonight, man, because tomorrow Trump is getting inaugurated, and he's bringing slavery back. He's taking all our rights. So let's go ahead and get it out our systems tonight, man. Shout out to Verdant Glider, man. He says, have you shared what happened that changed you into leaving a criminal lifestyle from when you were young? No, I wasn't even like a criminal lifestyle. I mean, it was just like a regular Sunman, man. I never would say it was a criminal. Selling weed and shit, that shit just like normal, man. Doing the little stick ups and shit when you a kid, sticking white people up and shit when you a kid, that's just like normal shit. That's not even like considered like criminal. That's just normal shit. That's baseline shit. That's like the baseline stuff, man. It was dudes that were way deeper into all that shit, killing and crack and home invasions and all type of shit. I never felt like I was no criminal lifestyle. But I will say this though, my mom did. My mom did. You know what I'm saying? She thought I was, because she ain't raised me like that. But yeah, all it is, man, getting a fucking job, man. And so I mean, I already knew more about the world than the average son, man. Because I mean, I wasn't raised to be a fucking all that shit. Even though I was, just right around everybody and shit, I just wasn't raised to be like that. But how can you? I mean, listen, if you go to school with niggas and you live in the neighborhood with niggas, you're gonna do nigga shit. But I mean, I wouldn't say I OD'd on it. I say I did. I'm glad that I'm one thing about me. I'm glad that all that stuff never landed me in prison. There's a lot of dudes went to prison for stuff like that. A lot of dudes that I know spend a lot of time in prison. A lot of time. A lot of dudes I know spend a lot of time in prison. I'm thankful for that. But yeah, I all that shit I did is just regular shit. Like a lot of sunmen sell weed. A lot of sunmen move pounds and QPs and shit. That's normal shit. A lot of sunmen, sun teens steal cars and rob people. That's a lot of them do that. That's normal shit. I think y'all just don't understand. That's just normal, regular shit. This shit these niggas did right here, following somebody home, following the jeweler home and shit, and then hopping out on them. I wasn't doing no shit like that. All my robberies was done as a teenager. When all the victims was white or Hispanic, I wasn't robbing drug dealers and shit like that.
And I'm thinking, what the world? Who in the world are these guys?
Without so much as a word, start picking through the victim's car.
They knew what they were doing.
No, I have 4 felonies. I got caught plenty of times. I got 4 felonies. But I never went to prison. I was like these sunmen that you see in these stories, man. Keep getting chances and chances and chances. Go to jail or get locked up, get out. But I never went to prison, so I'm happy about that.
They came right to my car. One came on the right side, one came on the left side. Got what they did, ran back in their truck.
In their possession, one of the victim's phones, his key fob, and 22 of his rings.
My adrenaline kicked in. As soon as they pulled out of my driveway, I immediately called 911 and I started chasing them.
They make it as far as Bel Air Boulevard, but when they're making a U-turn under the West Loop, they lose control and are forced to bail out.
Everything that they had took, they was running with it.
Officers with the Bel Air Police Department's Special Response Team just happened to be nearby. They're returning from the shooting that left a deputy dead and a canine wounded. Within minutes, we're told a tow truck driver directs them to the suspects hiding out on the second floor of a parking garage.
There's always going to be an element of luck, but when luck and preparation come together, then good things happen.
The suspects, both of whom already had open warrants, were arrested and charged with theft. Their latest alleged crime, very similar to so many others we've covered. In May,
Both these niggas had open warrants. And they out here robbing the jeweler like this, broad daylight. Salute to Eric S., man, Occupation Hall of Fame coming through once again. Shout out to you.
suspects, both of whom already had open warrants, were arrested and charged with theft. Their latest alleged crime, very similar to so many others we've covered. In May, a Maryland man was followed home from the bank and robbed. In June, the same thing happened to a Maryland woman.
Take an indirect route home. Take a couple of rights, maybe a left, and make sure that you're not.
Look at what white people are required to do. Look at what these white people are required to do in Maryland so these niggas won't rob them. Listen to the advice he's giving these white people so that these niggas won't rob them in Maryland. Maryland. He not telling them to shoot these niggas on sight. The way niggas act, you would think this dude's gonna say, "Hey man, if you see a nigga looking crazy, shoot his ass on sight." No, they telling the white people, "Hey man, make 4 lefts and drive through the park and go get on the highway and take this next exit and loop around and come back on your way home, man. Just in case one of these niggas is following you." But niggas want to act like they telling people to shoot niggas on sight. They literally telling people to take all these measures to avoid niggas. Press 1.
An element of luck, but when luck and
A canine wounded. Within minutes, we're told a tow truck driver directs them to the suspects hiding out on the second floor of a parking garage.
there's always going to be an element of luck, but when luck and preparation come together, then good things happen.
The suspects, both of whom already had open warrants, were arrested and charged with theft. Their latest alleged crime, very similar to so many others we've covered. In May, a Maryland man was followed home from the bank and robbed. In June, the same thing happened to a Maryland woman.
Take an indirect route home. Take a couple of rights, maybe a left, and make sure that you're not being followed.
Woman.
Take an indirect
Woman.
Take an indirect route home. Take a couple of rights, maybe a left, and make sure that you're not being followed.
Woman.
Take an indirect route home. Take a couple of rights, maybe a left, and make sure that you're not being followed.
Woman.
Take an indirect route home. Take a couple of rights, maybe a left, and make sure that you're not being followed.
This is what white people got to do in Maryland so that they on their way home. You at work and shit, after a long day at work, you get off. You get off of work after a long day and you're pulling up to your neighborhood. Maybe you take the highway and you're pulling up to your exit and you're like, "Oh man, finally home." And then you remember, "Oh shit, I gotta fucking drive around the circles and zigzag through the fucking city for like 5 minutes just in case one of these niggas is following me." What's up, guys? What's your thoughts? Oh shit.
What's going on here?
What the fuck is you listening to, man?
Got some friends?
No, that's Full House, man. I mean, listen to Full House, man.
Yeah, man. Dawson's Creek.
No, I was trying to make a point. Everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's a nigga, man. Following you home and shit. Let me go get my charger. Hold it down for me right quick. I gotta go get my charger, man. This computer about to
Who knew counter espionage training to evade pursuers would come in handy against the Sunman?
Yeah, right. You gotta have all guards up. SEAL 6 training.
If their aim was good, we'd have a legitimate threat on our hands.
For real.
Like an existential kind of, well, it already is, but I think you get my point. Mystic Philly, were you living a criminal lifestyle?
Not at all. Not at all. I was too busy into too many different things to even take part in any of that nonsense. Music rehearsals, different classes, school. Yeah, I was just too busy. I didn't have the time. And the crowd of people I hung around. I didn't deal with those types of people.
But you were around it and you saw people do it?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I would have to deal with some serious repercussions if I even attempted to act out in that manner.
Did you see
I came up
other
in the
people
old.
get punished, or was that just because your parents wouldn't stand for it?
Yeah, my parents wouldn't stand for it. My neighbors wouldn't stand for it. I just came up. I would say at a different time, different people in my life, steer me clear of all of that.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but I did, I saw people engage in it, and I have morals and I have standards, and I have too much of a heart to even, I can't see people suffer in that manner.
Oh, it takes a special kind of sick fucker to rob and steal and put guns in people's faces.
Yeah, exactly. Damn sure it does. And the thing that kills me, how people use it, they use the excuses, oh, it's poverty, it's this and it's that, it's blah 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 blah. It's a bunch of nonsense, man. It's nonsense. Because what? You get people that they make these come ups or whatever, they set these goals, robbing, stealing, killing, selling drugs or whatever. Like how much how much do you need to eat? That's their excuse. So I gotta eat. Well, how much do you plan on eating?
Yeah, there's an element of greed to these criminals that I
Damn
think
sure
is
it is. Damn
really
sure it is.
egregious.
Yeah, I just never understood it, man. It's yeah, it's definitely sick, man. It, like you said, it takes a special person.
I wonder how many of the young sons that engage in this end up, when they hit like 30 or so, they like say, I'm done. I don't want to do this. Oh, how common is that?
Not common at all, because a lot of times what'll happen is they go to jail, they have the record, the whole nine. When they come out, they pretty much feel useless. Well, they feel useless. They always looking for the shortcut. They feel useless. Oh, I can't get a job. I can't do this. I can't do that. And then, it just creates this vicious cycle. It's more so a vicious cycle of excuses, you know, they just keep putting themselves back in these positions. And, You know, they never learn.
Yeah, and the excuses are just baked into the system.
My mother was big in the community with that. Like she did a lot of outreach to like younger men that were, you know, that would get themselves in trouble, whatever. And she was kind of like a parenting figure. You know, they will always come check her out. You know, she give them the talk the whole nine. She stayed a lot of guys clear, you know, after they made that first mistake. And I would say probably 85% of them never, you know, they never took that route again. You know, they pretty much cleaned up. You know, and I saw the work that she was doing in the community, and you know, it had a special, you know, it had a special place in my heart. I'm just like, yo, you know, I see what she's doing, and I'll never be one of these guys, man.
Mm. Yeah, man. Let's salute to your mother, man. My mother was, she was she didn't raise me like this. She had me in activities and shit, like different like shit, and she did everything she could, man. Just like,
That's
you know,
that's interesting. You share that with Philly. That's what Philly describes. Very busy.
and the dudes I grew up with, they weren't bad guys or nothing like that. It's when we moved from that neighborhood, and I started like in the seventh, like right before the seventh grade, I moved to another neighborhood, and it was different. It was just culture shock after that, man, and then going into junior high school and shit like that, and you know, black junior high school is like fucking just crazy, man. And then you
White
know, what I mean,
junior high is pretty crazy.
nah, not like a black junior high school, like a fucking gang. Like it's
Yeah,
like the
nobody gets
streets, man.
killed, but
Yeah, people, yeah,
there's some real fuckers.
people get, yeah. Several dudes got killed at the junior high school, and fights and just status, the jockeying for position, the status, the clothes, the shoes. Everything's about clothes and shoes. The work. I never talked to nobody about work, and I wasn't gifted and talented too, because I tested in there. First, they had me in a regular class, and then they gave us this test one day, and then they came and was like, "Yo, you were gonna take you and put you in this other class." I was
Yeah,
in
man.
gifted and talented class, so it's like, but the gifted and talented class, it was still the same thing though. Really, it was just the smart. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, um, you can't, man. You just. I ain't gonna sit here and act like you know what I'm saying. Like you know, I was raised by wolves. No, I had all opportunities, man. Had big opportunities, man. Big opportunities. I could have been something, man. I could have been a contender, man. Had big experiences and shit like that.
Could have been
I just didn't.
President Akutunde.
I don't know about the president. No, I wasn't in like I wasn't in the, like a in the like school like that. I wasn't like you know I was a seeker of knowledge, but I wasn't trying to be. I wasn't like nobody's nerd or nobody's you know what I'm saying like straight A student or nothing like that. Most presidents they're like very high. They like go to Harvard and Yale like. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't no president going to no motherfucking Georgetown and no shit. Kamala would have been the first president to like to not go to like Harvard or Yale. You know what I'm saying? Or Trump went to Wharton Business School in UPenn, which is also an Ivy League school. But yeah, like you going to the Ivies, most likely Harvard or Yale. If you gonna be president, you gotta be a high achiever, a high you know what I'm saying, performer from an early age.
Yeah, you got to be in the club.
You ain't going to fucking UVA or UNC and being no fucking president, man. Even though those are good schools, they not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. let's get to this story, man. This damn real estate agent, man. Let me see where we at. Here we go. Everybody hit the like button, man. Support the channel. PayPal, Cash App, the Super Chat, man. We going in, man. I would like to get to 300, man. I hate the fact that they cut my views like that, man, in half like that, man. At least get to 300, man. Hit the like button, man. Subscribe. Also, share this video if you got a social media presence. If you got a social media presence, please share this video. So this guy right here, this guy had a bad experience with a white person. So that means that it's national news. If you black and you have a bad experience with a white person, that's national news. That's like a huge story. But let's see.
His hair makes him look like a tarantula.
What's going on? Do you live here? Yeah. You do? Papa. I don't believe that. What? I don't believe that. Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
You must believe that.
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. Somebody chased her up here. And she had kids.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in a silver truck.
A gray truck. And he came
So
around the corner and I was in the street. And so I come up and I just have my kids. And so I'm like, I pretend that I'm coming home. And so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate. And he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope." And then he sat here and I was like, "I need to get in." Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah.
Oh, let me find out he was trying to holler, man. Hold on. Was the white girl with her husband at the time? This is. I'm gonna run it back, man, from the beginning, man, because I don't want to get too far ahead and not know what the fuck is going on.
But like, who cares? Why this isn't a story?
Well, a black person had a bad experience with a white person. She did say he don't. This is his house, and she did say he. However they got here, they're here, and she didn't handle it perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're a white person, you have to handle shit perfectly. You don't get to make little minor mistakes or faux pas, or
or scream for help,
or act in a way that's unsavory. Press 1. You don't know that? You got to know that.
I'm being facetious here.
I was about to say you're gonna get in trouble, man, if you don't know that, man. I hate to see you being canceled, man.
Knock on the doorbell. Ring doorbell. We need you. What's going on?
We're about to see someone's worst nightmare.
Do you live here? Yeah. You do? Papa. I don't believe that.
Or their dark fantasies.
I don't believe that. Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. Somebody chased her up here, and she had the keys.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in a silver truck.
A gray truck, and he came around the corner,
I
and
don't know if you guys have a
I was in the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope." And then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's this lady screaming, and I'm like, that's.
She got all worried.
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
I'm sorry.
How did he scare you though?
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, "Are you looking for somebody?" Because I was pulling up out.
And I saw someone walking in our driveway too, and I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
All right, sorry.
What? She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
No, I came down the street right here, and I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with two kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, "Oh, it scared me," and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, "This could be his house," but you didn't say, "This is my home." You just said, "Are you looking?" And I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, "Did I live here?" I said, "Yeah."
And you said, "No, you don't."
And you said, "I don't think you do."
It was obviously you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like I'm pulling in my, it's like I'm pulling in my house. Like this is not. This neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio. You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Come on, baby, go in the house. Let's go.
You told me that I didn't. You said you didn't think I lived here.
It was the way that you were talking.
See, right there, he could just be like, all right, she said she's sorry. You could just leave it alone and just go about your business. But, I mean, I get it. He like, you know, whatever. I mean, she's weird. And listen, she's fucking weird. And she's annoying. And and from his point of view, if you look at it just from his point of view, he's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But now that she's explained it and she's like apologized and she's ready to leave, I guess you can scold her and for being a dumbass, well, scary Karen or whatever. But this ain't the big.
It's not a story.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, it's not a story, man.
No inconvenience goes unpunished.
Mm-mm. None. Wow. Crazy. Crazy. So let's see what else is about this story. Okay, here's the white woman right here.
Something tells me she embarrasses herself.
No way, man.
Everybody here on Facebook. I'll give it a quick second for any of you guys that want to jump on.
Will she cry?
But I just want to come on here and address what's going around right now because it's pretty messy. I think there's a massive misunderstanding, and now I believe that there is an agenda that's being pushed, and my heart is crushed. So, waiting for you guys to pop on. Okay. I just went live on my Instagram. So if you guys jumping on, I'm just sharing the same thing here too as well. I unfortunately have had to make all of my Instagram accounts, our business accounts, private because we are being really harshly attacked over there, as well as in our direct messages, to the point of now me getting personal text messages. Call me a racist.
She's a victim.
Here they come. Here they come.
Yeah, we're being told to watch our back and all the things. So I want to jump on here because my Facebook is public, and for those of you guys who are telling me that I owe a public apology. One, I will not apologize for making any sort of racist remark. I am the furthest thing from a racist. I will, however, apologize that my expression could ever come across in such a way, or that somebody could think something of that nature of myself and my family. So long story short, I need to give the context, because there's a lot of y'all who are, I'm sure, coming to my page right now.
So what did she apologize for? I didn't get that.
This is my thing. Why do people have to post everything on social media? I just don't understand it.
Might be an addiction.
It's where she lives. That's all her
Yeah,
reality coming through there.
and it's like the world they grew up in. Like being older, I remember a time when there was none of this shit. I remember this time when
exactly
nobody had a computer in their house. Like if you went over somebody's house and they had a fucking computer, all you could do on it was play games. There wasn't no shit there wasn't really nothing to do on the computer to have her. No reason to have it. So
I
like
can't quite tell how old she is.
Yeah, this woman is probably 32,
got a couple
33.
kids.
Yeah, so she's a white girl. She probably got married early, probably 33, and she never knows a time when there wasn't the internet. Barely knows a time when there wasn't social media.
She said she wasn't going to apologize, but then she did say, "I will say I'm sorry for." What was it that she did apologize for? Did anyone catch that?
She said a figure, some shit. She said, hold on.
And maybe it's not important. It just seemed weird. It seemed like an actual apology, but just not admitting it or calling it an apology.
Normally it would be important, but we know it's not.
Yeah, she got scared and shit. She seen a brother in her neighborhood. She got scared. Where's the shit?
How did she not know he lived there?
Let's see this.
On the doorbell. Ring doorbell. We need you.
Reverse gentrification.
What's going on?
Tarantula hair, yeah.
Do you live here? Yeah. You do? Papa. I don't believe that. What? I don't believe that.
So where are you going?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
I know what these black people gonna say. They're gonna say, she could have gotten him killed. I guarantee you, I promise you, they're gonna say that.
They're frothing at the mouth to say that.
That she could have gotten him killed. Her behavior could have gotten him killed.
She's weaponizing help.
Her whiteness, yep.
Did someone come here?
On the doorbell. Ring doorbell. We need you. What's going on? Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do? Papa. I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So where are you going?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Did someone come here?
On
My wife, she got somebody chased her up here, and she has kids.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in the
Okay, so her husband wasn't with her. She called her husband, and her husband came out. So it was just the black guy and the white woman and her kids that were in the I don't even know what to call it, the incident, the encounter. So he stopped. He was driving behind her, I think, and he was driving in front of her, whatever. They were driving in close proximity through the neighborhood. He was slowing down to look at the Christmas lights, and she thought that he was following her. So she got out and ran. She got out of the car and ran up on somebody's porch, and it happened to be his porch. So then he cuts out. He comes to his porch. She's like, "Do you live here?" And he's like, yeah. She's like, "I don't think so. I don't believe that." And then that's right there. That's when she fucked up. She lost her job and everything. She gonna lose everything. I think she has a business. I think they said they have a business, but yeah, they're gonna lose a lot for this shit.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in the silver truck.
Gray truck, and he came around the corner, and I was in the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home.
Okay, so she's walking. She was walking. She wasn't driving. She was walking her kids, I guess, at night. I don't know why, but whatever. I guess it's a great neighborhood. I guess it is no black people around there, so she was probably right. She walking her kids at night. So yeah, there ain't no black people around there. And you see this black guy, it's like, yo, what the fuck you doing around here? I wouldn't be walking my kids at night if it was black people around.
And so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope." And then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming, and I'm like,
She got all worried.
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
I'm so sorry.
How did he scare you though?
I just seen her in the driveway, and I was like, "Are you looking for somebody?" Because I was pulling up out.
And I saw someone walking in our driveway too, and I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
This is how black men got lynched. This is how every single lynching started. This is gonna be the narrative. Every single lynching started like this. White women accusing black men of things they didn't do, just like this. That's how brothers used to get lynched.
We have to pull out the clippings, Ock.
I promise you, yeah. I promise you that's what it's going.
All right, sorry.
What? She says that's
I promise you that's where this is
from
going.
there.
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with two kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, "Oh, it scared me," and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, "This could be his house." But you didn't say, "This is my home." You just said, "Are you looking?" And I was like,
See right there, she lied, or she tried to. I guess she didn't know that she was being recorded by the screen door, but she lied right there. That's not what you said, ma'am. You said she lied about what she said though, right here. So that's where she definitely fucked down. She threw.
I was like, "Oh, it scared me," and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, "This could be his house." But you didn't say, "This is my home." You just said, "Are you looking?" And I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, "Did I live here?" I said, "Yeah."
And you said, "No, you don't."
And you said, "I don't think you do."
It was obviously you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like I'm pulling in my, it's like I'm pulling in my house. Like this neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio. You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Come on, baby, go in the house. Let's go.
You told me that I didn't.
Good advice.
Yeah,
Wife,
sister,
thank
like
you.
we call her the NAACP. The mom, once the white woman said sorry, sister was like, "We got her." we call the NAACP. We call it crop. Watch this.
I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Come on, baby, go in the house. Let's go.
You told me that I didn't. You said you didn't think I lived here.
It was the way that you were talking.
He's hurt. He's offended.
Yeah, they got her. They doxed her. Michelle. Jesus is Lord. Fitness, motherhood, marriage. Fitness, motherhood, and marriage. Got her. She done. She threw
Hey,
book
shout out
away.
to her though. She was just, it's just her instincts. You can't blame her.
Yeah, but you can't. Let's see what the people are saying. Let's see what the people are saying about this, man.
Here's the story. Women have poor situational awareness. That's it.
Yeah, she was yeah. She didn't call the police. That's good. She at least thank God she didn't call the police for her. That's one thing she got working in her favor. But this is gonna be a rough road for her. Let's see what the comments are saying. Okay, so I've gone down the rabbit hole, and apparently she's a fairly well-known fitness wellness influencer and has somewhat of a cult following of suburban white women. She's done videos of herself eating wilted lettuce with Splenda on it. Warning: the Facebook mama's about to be human trafficked in the Walmart parking lot, etc. Okay. She's turned off her comments or privated all her social media, but she forgot about threads. They are roasting her ass on threads. Let's see what they say into her on threads. I don't have a threads.
Oh, those suburban white women are gonna tear her apart.
Help!
Help me!
Shit. Yeah, this gives a lot of white people a chance to virtue signal. Yeah, and show that I'm better than you. I'm not racist like you are. But yeah, they're gonna destroy her.
They're gonna drop her as a fucking if she
Yeah,
has
definitely.
clients, they're out of there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Some of them, yeah, definitely. Um, Now she's crying on Facebook saying she's not a racist. Yep, she's a racist. Now that how that's racist is it doesn't have to be explained. Like you don't have no one's gonna say, well, wait a second. I get it. She's an asshole and she's scary and she overreacted and everything. But how exactly is racist? That'll never be asked. It's racist, so it's racist. She's a racist. Um, just found her ass fake ass tears. I ain't seen one actual teardrop from her eye. The fact the black man and woman played it off as a misunderstanding is sad. Oh, I
Played it
know what.
off.
Right. Oh, I know why they did. Placating so the white folks won't escalate.
Hey, check the back chat.
Who is that? Oh, I didn't see y'all in the let me see. You gotta tell me yeah. What's up?
Morning, thank you. I just want to say
Yeah.
it's very unfortunate. Number one, being a Melungeon, growing out your hair to those awful dreadlocks doesn't increase your percentage, excuse me, of sunness. And then number two, I know her husband is so pissed off because he's like, you've just brought all this onto us in January 2025.
Misery.
And then number three, I did not do this at all, but I did check for someone on Friday because I live in a gated property. So it's a small, there are two electric gates. Sorry, one's electric, one you have to push. So this guy, he was approaching the electric gate as it was closing, but he was just looking shifty as if he wanted to walk into it and reopen it. So I was approaching it. And I just said, like, do you live here? And then he's like, oh yeah, and showed me the fob. And we both went in when I reopened the gates. There's no issue. And he was a glider. You know, I'm what I am. No issue at all. But yeah, this is it. She really didn't help herself by lying. I think that was the bit.
Man, I get why she lied because she didn't want to.
Yeah, she made that worse because it is understandable if he's in the car and she's walking and she has the pushchair and she keeps turning her head back. It's like this silver truck is still following me. Like it's a bit
slowly
crazy.
following her.
And unfortunately, she probably went on the porch just to ring it for a neighbor. I guess a
Yeah,
glider
so she
neighbor to
wouldn't
come
be
out.
isolated.
Yeah, exactly. To say like, oh, this guy, like he's just turned here. I've just asked him if he lives here. He said yes. I don't really think he does, and it happened to be his place. So the whole thing, it's kind of Murphy's law. Everything that could go wrong with this misunderstanding did.
Yeah, facts.
That's glider women. They'll fuck it up.
Wow.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get her husband through her and see what he does and say, oh, you have a Karen wife, you have a racist wife, your whole family is racist. Because even he tried to play it off with his laugh, like, oh, she thought someone was chasing her. Oh, okay, you guys live here, no worries. But they must have just moved there recently. Because if I know anything about gliders, is they'll spot who the son neighbor is immediately. They move in.
Definitely. Without a doubt. Especially if she's out and about, she's doing walking. She's a fitness person. She's probably walking all the time. You know what I'm saying? She's probably always exercising. So yeah, she knows. Yeah, they just moved in though, from what I heard. This one says, the fucking nerve of her trying to act like she's the victim when she just profiled someone and got caught lying on camera. This one says, white women like her are the reason Trump won. Uh-oh. Isn't this the microcosmic history of the black man's being? White woman yells, lies loud and wrong, says black man does something he didn't. White man comes to defend her. Loud lies. Hi, my name is Emmett Till.
I swear they don't understand punctuation. Like that, like the fire alarm's a thing. Punctuation's a thing. Fire detector.
So we got our first invocation of Emmett Till. Got Trump in there too. This one says, in my opinion, I don't think it was racial profiling. I think the fact that he was driving slow and stopping to look at the lights was a little suspicious because in the lady's mind, she thought that the guy was following right behind her. See that right there? There's no room for that. Like you're a white person. Like it's if he was a gangbanger thug with a long criminal record and he had literally jumped out of the car, grabbed her kids, and put them in the trunk and drove off. When he got caught, he would get more benefit of the doubt than he would get.
But remember, it happened to that glider woman, the one who was jogging. Wasn't it like 5 a.m. and then the sun man? Literally abducted her in his car.
Yep.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, not at all. I mean, these are the neighborhoods some men hunt in. Some men hunt, and even though they don't live around those neighborhoods, they go there to home invade, to steal cars, rob people. This one says, so they answered this post. They said, "You probably don't hear the husband. Who cares? Who cares? I'm not arguing about this." She said, "So why would you follow the danger or want to talk to it? LMAO, she deserves all the backlash," says the sister. This one said, "How am I suspicious driving slow in my neighborhood to my house?" See, this is why at that point, she doesn't know that's, like that's why these things are so frustrating when you're dealing with black people and liberals who are pretending, because the white liberals, they have logic. They just pretending to not have logic, so they can be on with the black people. But the black people truly don't understand, like, it's not all the information we know at the end. They don't know that at the beginning of the interaction. You dig what I'm saying? But these people, they don't operate like that. They feel like you should know everything that we know at the end of the, the interaction as you did at the beginning.
Something about they can't step outside of themselves. I
Yeah,
think you explained it at some point
yeah,
pretty well.
yeah, yeah. Very hard to do that, man. Very, very hard to do that. He said it's a lady with 2 kids at a stranger's house accusing them that they don't live there. White people have no accountability. You're trespassing and have the nerve to be scared. This one said the pretzel logic to deny the most evident case of profiling from a proud conservative is amazing. Had she said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and walked away when he told her it was his house, I'd agree with you. Instead, she saw a black man and ran screaming help without ever being threatened. This type of behavior could result in the arrest or death of an innocent black man, and she knows that.
And we're way past the point of asking the question, I wonder why she was so afraid. Is there a reason for that?
At this point, I don't think anybody's brave enough to go there. Um, it is racial profiling, says this white woman, because she asked him if he lived there. And he said yes, and she said, "I don't think you do." But still, how's that racial profile? I think you're the one being racist because you think that it's because he's black. You think it's because he's black that she said that. Now it might as well be. It might very well be. But what I'm saying is to automatically assume that okay, she thinks he doesn't live here because he's black. Could you be projecting, ma'am?
But she has
The
every
question
right.
is, if a white guy got out of that car and did the same thing that he did, would she have suddenly changed her tune and been like, "Oh, you're a friendly guy. I'm cool with you"? No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, exactly. She would have still said, "This dude is following me and my 2 children slowly whilst I'm trying to push this pushchair, and I do not want to go to my house in case, my husband's not in and he follows me." And it's literally in every true crime, you always have the victim running to the neighbor's house, ringing the doorbell desperately. Help, help, help. Like, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah, this is. I feel for her, man, because tomorrow's Monday, and like that's the beginning of a new news cycle, and everyone's looking for stories. All the tabloids and all the internet publications are going to look for stories, and this is. We'll see this in the Daily Mail and TMZ probably tomorrow. It says she asked him if he lived there twice, and he said yes. She said, "No, you don't," and then proceeded to scream and run away with no one chasing her. I get that, but after he said calmly he lived there, she could have just walked away. What was the screaming about? But she at that time she thought he was following her, so she didn't believe him. At that
No,
point,
I
she
think
thought
the
he was following.
screaming is that when she said, "Do you live here?" I think he had just gone into the driveway. So the whole thing of when she was unbuckling her child to run is when he was getting out of the car.
Yeah.
So I think it's him approaching the front door is what made her run around the side of the house, screaming help.
Yeah, you just gotta, as a white person, you gotta in social settings, you gotta be on your P. You gotta be, you know what I'm saying? You can't have like, a bad interaction or react
But
bad to something.
But what's the social setting? By his own account, as we just discovered that they moved there recently, it is a glider neighborhood, like pure glider neighborhood. They, in this circumstance, they are the interlopers. They are moving into the pure glider neighborhood.
Well, that little meme caption made it seem like he had developed the whole area himself. And so presumably some Sun people had come with him in the venture.
Yeah, they're trying to move up in life. They've moved into the glider neighborhood. He still probably works out of the whole area. Like, she has every right to question the new person in the neighborhood who does not fit the profile of the neighborhood.
Yep.
Wow. This one says, never let bro give his opinion again. It says, it most definitely was racial profiling. The whole made up story is what made it even worse. He's apparently a developer in that neighborhood. Historically, so many black men have lost their lives due to false accusations like this. Let me
Prove
play it
it.
one more time. Let me play it for the people who just got here, man. Everybody hit the like button, man.
Knock on the doorbell. Ring doorbell. We need you. What's going on? Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do? Papa. I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. She got somebody chased her up here. And she had kids.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in the silver truck.
In a gray truck, and he came
So
around the corner,
I
and
don't know if you guys have a
I was in the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" I said, "Nope," and then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming, and I'm like, that's.
She got all worried that she
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
How did he scare you though?
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, "Are you looking for somebody?" Because I was pulling up out.
And I saw someone walking in our driveway too, and I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
All right, sorry.
She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with 2 kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, "Oh, it scared me," and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, "This could be his house," but you didn't say, "This is my home." You just said, "Are you looking?" And I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, "Did I live here?" I said, "Yeah."
And you said, no, you don't.
And you said, "I don't think you do."
It was obviously you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like I'm pulling in my, it's like I'm pulling in my house. Like this is not this neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio. You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Come on, baby, go in the house. Let's go.
You told me that I didn't. You said you didn't think I live here.
It was the way that you were talking. I was so caught off guard. I'm so sorry.
Kid Husband said, I'm not arguing about this yet. It's not, I mean, like, so this guy, Jimmy Fields says, is it possible this woman has been misled by the racist media that wouldn't stop talking about the son who stomped out a woman on the CTA for her purse? Might have made her jumpy. Yeah, I mean, if you live, everyone knows, man. Everyone knows what's going on, who's doing the crime and whatnot. He got big dreads, son man with the dreads and shit, creeping behind you slowly from her point of view at night. Yeah, I mean, she terrified her. Anybody would be terrified. I would be scared if that was the case, man. If I was walking, some man was in the car behind me, I would be like, oh shit, my heart be racing like shit. Cause I would have more to worry about. I'm a son, man.
And the funny thing is, they literally moved into that neighborhood because of Karen women. Because they're like, oh, if anything, what's your homeowners, the people who do the
Yeah,
neighborhood
HOA.
watch? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because of that, they're like, oh, this is such a good neighborhood. They're always looking out. They're always, monitoring if anything is incorrect.
This
But
could have ended.
once it happens to them, then it's problematic.
Yeah, exactly. This could have ended so tragically. We need to address the dangerous consequences of false accusations. But here's the thing: when some men actually do things to white women, like rob them, rape them, beat them, push them on the tracks, and they just get arrested, and nothing more than the arrest happens. Like nothing more than the arrest happens. It's all that happens from the white power structures. You get arrested. Now you may get out. They may not give you a bond. Most likely they're gonna give you a bond. But this whole notion that if you do something to a white woman as a black man, there's this extra level of punishment that's gonna be meted down to you from the justice system. And many times it will be from the cop. Like the cop's gonna come on the scene. They're like, "Yo, oh shit, that was a white woman. I'm gonna handle this. Fuck the court system. I'll handle it." Like people are nuts. This one said she did the same thing that white lady did to Emmett Till.
What was that one about a racist stroller? Why is the stroller racist?
Yeah, she dumped a $600 racist stroller in a heartbeat. That shows how scared she was. It says, these people hate us. Stop supporting and stop being their friends. And this guy probably voted for Biden. Most likely voted for Biden.
Don't move into their neighborhoods then if they hate you. Like it's an oxymoron.
Yeah. Yikes. She even says the way he was talking. When you watch the video, he was being friendly. This is the Midwest for you. So now the whole Midwest is racist.
Probably a CC fan too.
Yeah, the place was Chicago, Indianapolis, Cleveland. They're very racist there. That's the big problem there, man. People are giving some men all types of shit. Yeah, white people is running on some men and giving them all types of shit on the regular, This one says, I doubt there will be anything the police can do. What? Why
Shun this woman.
Why should the police?
God.
But I sure hope the neighborhood and community shun this woman. Leave the kids out of it. But that woman is just a horrible human.
And you're a horrible human for wanting to shun her. It's sad. We're so fucked.
The husband of the white woman walked away when he saw the black man come out. He knew his wife lied, but they wasn't going to be accountable. She literally asked, did he live here? And he said, yes. He said, I don't think so. No, bitch, you don't live there. Thank God for the cameo. This could have turned out so fucking different. This is an attempted murder. Oh my God, man. You talk about crazy town, man. This is crazy town.
Well, the video missed the part where she did yell, someone killed this guy. The mic just didn't pick it up.
A black man is chasing me. Aren't you guys going to do anything? Wow. So the black people want the police to get involved. I see a press conference with the families with the brother and his wife standing on the podium with a bunch of civil rights activists. I think maybe the wife will shed some tears. The brother might even cry too. But yeah, this is headed towards that. This is headed towards a press conference. Hi, I'm brother Baba Shakur Unami the third Alawatunde. And I'm representing with my legal team from we are representing the Jacksons in their lawsuit against the homeowners association for damages and for racial misconduct and blah 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 blah.
Racial misconduct.
Some shit.
Fuck.
And I bet you the lawyer has a bow tie. Press one. I guarantee you that both their lawyer gonna have a bow tie.
A violation of the glider code of conduct.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get crump on this one. They may get crump though. It depends on how big it is. This one, we gotta see how big it is. Crump don't really mess with small fish like this right now. But we'll see, man. And the Democrats are gonna push this on their platforms because this shows that what we have to look forward to in the next 4 years. This one says post her name. He said that's why that particular group's body count will remain at 0. This is so dangerous and disgusting, and people actually think stuff like this isn't still occurring. She should be charged with attempted murder. Damn, a white woman just having an interaction with a black man is attempted murder. When we see videos on the same platform every day as black dudes like sucker punching white women. We seen like I can't show them here, but you guys see them fight.
Call them all sorts of names.
Yeah, like what are you talking about, man? People are crazy, man. This is how Emmett Till got killed. How so many black men end up in jail or dead over white women cries. This cannot be taken lightly. And to never say her name, she don't owe anybody an apology after not minding her business and knocking on somebody's door for no reason.
Are we going to ignore the unnatural amount of sun men who chase glider women? Like just as their preference, just want to be with them. So we're going to ignore that. Like
we're going to ignore the fact that
yeah, literally, I put this on gliders. Like you need to be making your neighborhoods sundown towns, and just creating the aura that your neighborhoods are so racist that no one wants to move there. Because this is what happens to people who literally moved in 2 weeks ago. Like your neighborhood is trashed because now your neighborhood is known as a racist.
Oh yeah, and forever, like black people 30 years from now gonna be like, oh, if you say mention that neighborhood, they're like, oh man, they racist over there.
Exactly. And all you needed to do was just pretend it was a sundown town and make sure that no one who isn't easily offended moves there.
But I mean, they already think that all white people are racist. So all the white neighborhoods are just racist. I guess some could be like extra racist though.
But it's parasitic behavior. It's like desert demons. You can think these people are racist, but you will take the best of what they have, which is safe neighborhoods. You can go jogging at 3 a.m., cookouts, all those things. So they will still take that and move in because they know that these people protect their area and at the same time call you racist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a win-win.
Yep. It's absolutely Just it's just annoying, man. That this could be the biggest story. Like this potentially could be the biggest story in the country tomorrow. We could wake up and this could be the biggest story in the country tomorrow. Let's see some. Let's see.
The first time we're seeing that disturbing video of a University of Oklahoma football player punching a woman in the face. The 2-year-old footage shows running back Joe Mixon exchanging words with a female student at a restaurant near campus. Now watch on the right side of your screen here. She pushes Mixon, and then he hits her in the face, fracturing 4 bones. Mixon entered a no contest plea 2 years ago.
Oh, I remember this. You've shown.
But here's the thing. Look at these white guys. They saw that shit. Look at this guy's holding his mouth. Why didn't he lynch that guy? Why didn't they lynch him? This white guy, he saw it. They just lynch him. What's wrong with these people?
And served a 1-year suspension from the team. The Oklahoma Supreme Court ordered the release of the video after the media sued to gain access.
They should have lynched him, man. That's crazy.
No, they knew he was wasn't he an athlete or something? Yeah, he's a football player. They knew he was important, so they didn't want to fuck with him.
Wow, man. Should have lynched him, man. Well, that's different.
Some athletes get away with murder. It's just insane.
Let's see this one.
My train ride in NYC.
Say it to my face now. Say it to my face now. Tell me to take a chill pill. Say the word chill pill. Oh. Say the word chill pill.
Why they ain't lynch him? They should have lynched him, man.
That we're going to begin with an attack so brutal we had to freeze the video because it's too graphic to show. A 67-year-old Asian woman followed into her building in Yonkers and then beaten relentlessly. Police say a man punched and kicked her more than 130 times, and that man is now under arrest and charged with a hate crime. News 4's Ida Siegel is live for us in Yonkers, and Ida, police who have seen a lot are calling this one of the most appalling attacks they've ever seen. How's the woman doing?
Well, Adam, the woman is alive, which in and of itself is incredible when you see the video of her attack. I just spoke with the police commissioner here in Yonkers, and he says she's in the hospital. She's in stable condition, but she does have a long road of recovery ahead of her. We're going to go ahead and show you that video that police tell us they released to demonstrate the depravity of this crime and to let the public know that hate of any kind will not be tolerated. But you can see there the 67-year-old Asian woman is pushing a grocery cart as she enters her building in Yonkers. She stops to open the second door of the building vestibule when a man comes in behind her and for absolutely no reason punches.
Look how big that Negro is, man.
You can see there the 67-year-old Asian woman is
Knight
pushing a
looking
grocery
ass.
cart as she enters her building in Yonkers. She stops to open the second door of the building vestibule when a man comes in behind her and for absolute.
We saw this video. We did this video back when it happened. And yeah, he hit her 143 times.
He went Super Saiyan on her.
They got. I don't know how they counted. I don't know how they counted 140 something times, but from watching the video, it might have been more. Like he and each one was a hell of a punch. And yeah, so. Yeah, and this guy, like nothing extra happened to this guy. Like they caught up with him and they arrested him. You know what I mean? Like it's not like there was no extra.
My train ride in NYC.
There was no extra. Like yo, okay, you black and you did this to the white woman. It was just just okay. Remember these?
Have the black eye, but Michaela, emotionally, how are you feeling?
No, it's been really, really hard. I think it hits me in waves. A lot of crying because it was really, really scary.
The NYPD confirms it is looking into at least 4 similar cases, like the one shared on social media. In one of them, police say a 40-year-old man has been arrested and charged with assault.
Black dude.
I was punched in the head
in New York City, in Times Square.
But the police have not linked the cases to the videos. In recent days, dozens of accounts of alleged assault have popped up online.
Remember this? Who remembers this from like last year? That story. Where all those white women was getting punched and shit, and then they arrested the black dude for it. He didn't get no extra. He didn't get no extra. Like, I think they let him go. I think they let him out on bond too.
You got a pat on the back.
I think it was a cashless bail.
Yeah, exactly. Salute to Jimmy Fields Productions. He said this racist Karen story will be a bigger story than the Chicago Sun who stomped the woman on the train. Oh yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. 100%. Shout out to D from Boston. He says, what sons don't understand is that the stereotypes are earned and not given. The lady's reaction was completely understandable due to the behavior of sons.
Not completely.
Line.
Okay. Not completely.
Go ahead, man.
Understandable, but not completely.
Right. No doubt. I mean, I'm on record saying she was completely weird and unhinged, but that's when I thought she was in the car. But when I found out she was walking at night with her kids, and those lonely suburban neighborhoods, they're lonely. There's nobody to help you. Like if you get attacked, there's not somebody gonna bend the corner. Like it's not like Times Square. Like you're out there by yourself. Yep. So and then the Sun man did say that he was driving slow. He said that he was, and I believe him too. I 1000% believe him. He said he was looking at the at his Christmas lights. That's why he was driving slow behind her while she was walking down the street pushing the stroller with her kids. And they both, I can understand from her point of view, man. Like what the fuck? What's going on? And then she's in mommy mode. She got she's in what's they call it? Mama bear? She's in mama bear mode.
Yeah, it's almost like the Terrell. I think it was the Terrell Owens. Was it the Terrell?
NBC News has not been able to verify all the videos.
I remember Terrell Owens. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a big story. That was a big story for like a few days. And the woman, she got canceled. Yeah, I don't know what happened to her. I can't remember.
Troubling stories surfacing at the same time. There has been a rash of violent crimes on the city's busy subways. In response, the National Guard has been brought in to search bags, and 1,000 additional NYPD officers are now riding the trains too. But the mayor,
those don't look like officers.
Yeah, we acting like those people are there for anybody other than black men. All those extra officers are there for anybody but black men. They're there for black men.
Don't forget.
Not all black men, but black men. Huh?
Burritos do it too.
Yeah, definitely. What about this one?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not gonna play that. That one.
Yeah. My train riding NYC.
Oh, that one. Yeah,
we are going to begin this evening with a vicious attack. And again,
I remember this. We did this video.
We are going to begin this evening with a vicious attack that again raises questions about the criminal justice system. A woman on her way to work at Kennedy Airport was pummeled to the ground, punched, and then kicked at the air train station in Howard Beach. This video is from security cameras at that station. Police did make an arrest, and it turns out the suspect has a long history of attacking people.
From a can of
the
paint.
victim spoke exclusively to Eyewitness News reporter N.J. Burkett.
He didn't know her from a can of paint.
No, that's attempted murder.
Elizabeth Holmes was beaten so badly, she stands to lose the vision in her right eye. Her head throbs with pain, and she's barely slept in a week. Not since she was attacked in the Howard Beach Air train station.
Think about that. That dude didn't know her from a can of paint.
Yeah. Funny thing is, not to get too political, but Believe it or not, I used to live
My
there when
train
it was
riding
red New York.
Oh, really? Wow.
It was, yeah, at one point it was red New York. I think Pataki was governor and Giuliani was mayor. So it was literally red at one point.
That's not that long ago.
Yeah.
I remember
The
that. I
90s.
remember when Giuliani was there, yeah. Damn.
At the time, I didn't appreciate, because I was also part of that stop and frisk too. At the time, I didn't appreciate it, but now looking back, I kind of understand it.
Yeah.
Because let's just say I'm also reformed.
Are you so you were was you a mafia in the mob or something?
No, just petty stuff. Like, I'm a tiger glider, but
oh wow.
You weren't a made guy?
No, I wasn't a maid guy. Why you guys say all this stuff about a maid guy? Oh man, I don't think. Yeah, man. If I were caught in what do they call it? The Tribeca, man. I don't know what side I would actually have to go on.
Wow. Yeah, you're
Yeah, exactly.
tiger glider.
Yeah, no tiger
Wow.
glider mobsters.
Let's see. Let's see this one.
On a cold December evening in 2000, what began as a quiet gathering of friends in a Wichita home turned into a nightmare that would haunt a community forever. Two brothers, driven by greed and violence, invaded the home, unleashing terror on the unsuspecting group. Their actions left 4 lives tragically cut short and 1 survivor to recount the chilling ordeal.
Y'all remember this?
Yes, I do. I can't believe it. Yeah, especially with how HJ survived. That was crazy. And the fact
Okay, let us.
As the investigation unfolded, horrifying details emerged. Details that gripped the nation and raised unsettling questions. How could such senseless brutality occur in a peaceful neighborhood? And what would it take to bring those responsible to justice? This is the story of a crime spree that shook a city to its core, a tale of survival, loss, and an unrelenting pursuit of justice. This true crime story explores real-life events that may include unsettling details. Some viewers may find the content distressing. Kindly proceed with caution. Welcome to the Crime Series. I'm glad to have you join us on another video. Kindly subscribe, like, and share. Let me know where you are watching from. Reginald and Jonathan Carr were born in Dodge City, Kansas, to a family plagued by violence, instability, and abuse. Their childhood was marked by severe neglect, physical abuse, and exposure to crime at an early age.
Okay, so that's typical.
Mother, Janice Harding, was described as a strict and emotionally distant woman who struggled to provide affection or a stable environment for her children. Their father was absent for most of their lives, leaving a void that was filled with hardship and trauma. Janice remarried, but her second marriage was equally unstable. Her new husband was reportedly violent, at one point holding a firearm to her head during an argument. The boys frequently witnessed domestic violence, which contributed to their growing aggression and instability. Occasionally, they stayed with their maternal grandmother, but even that environment offered little solace. Described as unpredictable and prone to outbursts, she provided no consistent support or safety for the young boys.
If a white dude did this to some black people, he wouldn't get all this backstory.
Hardship and trauma.
It wouldn't be all this. This is basically explaining why I don't know what they did to these white people, but what they must have done something really, really bad.
Tied them up, did all sorts of shit, I'm guessing.
Like that one in Tennessee. Remember the one in the Christians and whatever the fuck?
Yep.
The guy and the girl.
Forgot the names, but you had Knoxville.
Yeah.
The Carr brothers were left to fend for themselves in many ways, often turning to the streets for a sense of belonging and survival. By the time they reached their teenage years, both brothers had dropped out of school. Reginald, the elder of the two, developed a reputation for being a troublemaker. He was frequently involved in fights and had a long record of suspensions and expulsions. Jonathan, on the other hand, was less outwardly aggressive, but struggled with deep-seated emotional issues. At the age of 16, he attempted taking his life by drinking antifreeze, an act that underscored the profound despair he felt.
Yeah, the Newsom murders.
The brothers' exposure to criminal elements began early. By the time Reginald was 11, he had already encountered drugs and alcohol, often supplied by older relatives. He became involved in petty crimes, escalating to more serious offenses as he grew older. At 18, Reginald was already serving time in prison for aggravated assault. Jonathan, though not as violent as Reginald during their early years, was nonetheless drawn into the same world of crime. The Carr brothers' early lives were a tragic prelude to the horrors they would later unleash on Wichita. Their story raises questions about the impact of environment on behavior, the cycle of violence, and whether such crimes could have been prevented if they had received the help they so clearly needed. On December 8, 2000, Andrew Schreiber, a 23-year-old assistant baseball coach, became the Carr brothers' first victim. While at a come-and-go convenience store in Wichita, Kansas, Schreiber was approached by two armed men, later identified as Reginald and Jonathan Carr. The brothers forced him at gunpoint into his own vehicle. What began as a routine evening quickly turned into a terrifying ordeal that would mark the start of a crime spree unlike any the city had ever seen. The Carr brothers ordered Schreiber to drive to multiple ATMs across the city, forcing him to withdraw a total of $800. Throughout the harrowing experience, Schreiber complied with every demand, hoping that cooperation would spare his life. He later recalled his overwhelming fear during those tense hours, saying, "I was just hoping if I did what they said, they'd let me live." Despite the apparent randomness of their choice of victim, the Carr brothers exhibited a calculated level of control. They made sure Schreiber could not seek help immediately by shooting out the tires of his car before fleeing the scene in another vehicle. Alone and stranded in an isolated field, Schreiber was physically unharmed but emotionally shaken. Following the incident, Schreiber reported the crime to the police, providing them with descriptions of his assailants. Unfortunately, at the time, there were few leads, and investigators had no way of predicting the escalation of violence that would follow just days later. Schreiber's ordeal was a chilling start to the brutal events that would soon engulf Wichita. 3 days later, on December 11th, 55-year-old Ann Walenta, a beloved cellist with the Wichita Symphony Orchestra, was ambushed outside her upscale suburban home. Walenta had dedicated her life to music, not only performing but also serving as the orchestra's librarian, where she managed and organized musical scores. She was well known in her community, admired for her talent, warmth, and her involvement in programs that brought classical music to underprivileged youth.
Oh, shit.
That evening,
damn,
Wow.
She did everything that you're supposed to do, man.
After returning from a rehearsal, Walenta parked her sport utility vehicle in front of her home. As she gathered her belongings and prepared to head inside, she noticed a man approaching her vehicle. He appeared to be in distress and asked for help. Sensing something was off, but unsure of his intentions, she attempted to drive away. In a flash, the man, later identified as Reginald Carr, drew a firearm and fired multiple shots through the driver's side window. Shattered glass rained down on Walenta as bullets struck her. Despite her critical injuries, Walenta mustered the strength to lean on her car horn, creating an incessant noise that caught the attention of a nearby neighbor. When first responders arrived, they found Walenta conscious, but in excruciating pain. She was rushed to a hospital, where doctors worked tirelessly to save her life. Despite her grave condition, she managed to give law enforcement a brief description of her assailant. Her courage and determination in those final hours provided a crucial lead for investigators. For a few days, it seemed as though Walenta might defy the odds and survive the attack. However, the damage inflicted by the gunshots was too severe. Walenta succumbed to her injuries on December 13th, leaving behind a grieving community. The murder of Ann Walenta sent shockwaves through Wichita. Her death was not only a personal tragedy for those who knew her, but also a harbinger of the violence that would soon escalate. The randomness and brutality of the attack heightened fear in the city, with many residents now feeling vulnerable in their own homes. Police intensified their investigation, but at the time, they could not connect Walenta's murder to the earlier robbery of Andrew Schreiber. The attackers seemed not to have no clear pattern beyond their opportunistic targeting of unsuspecting victims. It would take the horrific events of December 14th to finally link the crimes and bring the perpetrators to justice.
As we go into the most intense part of this video, kindly like and subscribe to this channel. It gives me motivation to create more videos. If you love this video and wish to see more, kindly subscribe.
On December 14, 2000, 5 friends gathered at a triplex on Birchwood Drive in Wichita, Kansas, for what was intended to be a peaceful evening among close companions. The residents of the triplex were Jason Beaufort, a 26-year-old high school science teacher, Brad Haka, a 27-year-old financial analyst at Koch Industries, and Aaron Sander, a 29-year-old who had recently left his job to pursue a calling in the priesthood. They were joined by Jason's girlfriend, H.G., a 25-year-old school teacher, and their mutual friend, Heather Muller, a 25-year-old graduate student at Wichita State University. Jason Beaufort had been dating H.G. for some time, and he had recently purchased an engagement ring with plans to propose. The two were deeply in love, and their relationship brought joy to their circle of friends. Heather Muller and Aaron Sander had previously dated but remained close friends, bonded by their shared devotion to the Roman Catholic faith. Heather, known for her kindness and bright personality, was considering a religious vocation and had spoken of becoming a nun. The evening was spent in quiet enjoyment. The friends shared a meal, watched television, and engaged in lighthearted conversation. They had no reason to suspect that danger was lurking nearby, or that their lives were about to change forever. The triplex itself was located in a relatively quiet neighborhood, offering a sense of security to its residents. Jason, Brad, and Aaron had chosen the location for its convenience and affordability, and it had served as a comfortable home for them. On that cold December night, snow began to fall outside, and by 11 p.m., the group began to wind down. Jason and H.G. retired to his bedroom, while Brad and Aaron settled into their respective rooms. Heather stayed in the living room, likely preparing to rest soon. The atmosphere was one of calm and comfort, with no indication of the terror that would soon descend upon them. Unbeknownst to the friends, Reginald and Jonathan Carr were already in the vicinity, scouting for their next victims. The brothers, emboldened by their previous crimes and driven by a desire for money and dominance, had chosen the triplex as their target. As the porch light flickered on, Jason jokingly remarked to H.G., "Don't tell me I have to get up and turn off the light again." Moments later, they heard muffled voices coming from another part of the house. Assuming it was Aaron or Brad speaking with Heather, they paid little attention. But within seconds, their world was shattered by the sound of the front door being forced open. Jason and H.G. barely had time to react before their bedroom door was kicked open. Standing in the doorway were 2 armed men, their faces obscured by masks. The Carr brothers had arrived, and what followed would become one of the most harrowing and brutal crimes in Wichita's history. The couple was ordered to get out of bed, and Jason was immediately assaulted. Meanwhile, Brad Haka and Heather Muller were also dragged from their rooms, completing the group of captives. The victims were herded into a single room where the ordeal began. The Carr brothers demanded money, jewelry, and ATM cards. Under duress, the victims provided what little cash they had on hand. Unsatisfied, the brothers forced the victims to hand over their bank cards and disclose their PINs. One of the brothers left with Aaron Sander and Brad Haka to withdraw money from nearby ATMs, while the other remained behind to guard the remaining hostages. As the minutes ticked by, the tension in the house grew unbearable. The captives, stripped of their clothing and dignity, huddled together, trying to offer each other what little comfort they could. Despite the fear gripping,
they stripped them naked. So these two are with the one of the brothers that go to ATM, and everyone else is left behind. Wow, stripped naked.
Stripping them, they clung to the hope that compliance might ensure their survival. Upon returning, the brothers escalated their cruelty. They subjected each of the victims to sexual assault, alternating between psychological torment and physical violence.
Each of them to
Straight
sexual assault?
demons.
Does that mean the men too?
That's what I kind of wondered too, but I didn't want to say
When
nothing.
he said each of them,
that's exactly what you think it means.
Yeah, it would have been easy to just say the girls.
Yeah.
Acts were calculated to instill maximum terror and dehumanization. After hours of terrorizing the group, the Carr brothers decided to move the victims from the triplex. They forced Jason, HG, Aaron, Brad, and Heather into two vehicles, Jason's truck and Aaron's Honda Accord. The captives were barely clothed, and the freezing December night added to their torment.
Wow.
The brothers drove the vehicles to a remote soccer field on the outskirts of Wichita, where the next phase of their heinous crime would unfold.
See, that's why that white lady, when she ran on that porch, she took a chance. You can't be secluded like that white. I have more respect for what that white lady did, thinking what she thought, not that she did the right thing, because the brother it was his house and he was just driving, but slowly admiring his Christmas lights. But from what she was thinking, she handled that well.
Initially, I think initially.
I mean, listen, man. Like, look, whatever, man.
She
like,
apologized.
You can't
Who
double
cares?
down. You can't double down though. Like, and then after the threat's been de-escalated.
My man. Let me just tell you, that mistake that you're harping on her she made. Mm-hmm. She ain't getting. These motherfuckers got a whole 5-minute backstory to explain what they're doing now. Give her some grace. Press 1. Can she get some grace for what she did?
Only for her initial reaction, I would give her grace.
But you won't give her any grace for the second reaction.
Yeah, only the initial.
Okay.
Because the threat is already gone, or whatever. He didn't really pose.
But that man is not affected by that in any way. Like, that's just nobody's affected. Nothing happened to anybody.
Yeah.
Remote soccer field on the outskirts of Wichita, where the next phase of their heinous crime would unfold. Upon arriving at the snow-covered soccer field, the Carr brothers ordered the captives out of the vehicles. The victims, cold and disoriented, were instructed to kneel in a line beside one another. The reality of their impending fate began to set in as the brothers brandished their handguns. HG later described the chilling moment when she realized what was about to happen. "They're going to shoot us," she whispered to Heather Muller, who knelt beside her. Heather, who had maintained a quiet strength throughout the ordeal, tried to reassure her, though the fear was palpable. Reginald and Jonathan Carr began executing the victims one by one, shooting each of them in the head. Jason, Brad, Aaron, and Heather were eliminated instantly, their lifeless bodies collapsing into the snow.
That is nasty.
You telling me
they should have known
that that white woman, she tried to kill that black man. There was attempted murder. Because if a white woman just has a weird interaction with a black man, he'll be instantly killed by whatever white men or cops show up on the scene.
I don't know. I don't think that would happen.
By the way, these guys are still alive. The Carr brothers are still alive.
Yeah, but off topic. But shout out to Barry Sanders because I saw that it happened in Wichita. One of the greatest running backs. All right.
Yeah.
Brad, Aaron, and Heather were eliminated instantly, their lifeless bodies collapsing into the snow. HG, however, was miraculously spared by what would later be described as sheer luck. The bullet intended to end her life struck her hair clip, deflecting the shot enough to prevent a fatal wound. Though severely injured, she managed to remain conscious. To ensure that none of their victims survived, the Carr brothers then drove Jason's truck over the bodies. HG felt the excruciating pain of the vehicle's tires rolling over her, but she continued to feign death, hoping the brothers would leave without noticing her survival. Once the Carr brothers departed, HG summoned every ounce of strength she had left. Despite her head wound and the freezing temperatures, she managed to get up and make her way toward the distant lights of a farmhouse she had seen earlier. She trudged through the snow, her body racked with pain, and collapsed several times before reaching a nearby road. HG's determination to survive was nothing short of heroic. Despite her injuries and the trauma she had endured, she reached the farmhouse and pounded on the door until the occupants let her in. The homeowners immediately called 911, and HG provided critical information to the police about the location of her friends and the identity of her attackers. The aftermath of the murders. HG's account led police to the crime scene, where they discovered the lifeless bodies of Jason Beaufort, Brad Haka, Aaron Sander, and Heather Muller. The brutal and methodical nature of the deaths shocked even seasoned investigators. The scene at the remote soccer field was haunting.
And here's the thing, we're not going to hear anything, I can already tell you this now, about how this may have been racially motivated. Nothing. Press 1. There will be nothing. There won't even be a ponderance, a question from anybody. Could this have been racially motivated? That won't even be brought up.
Well, Ark, you gotta remember from a glider mindset, like we don't even, that doesn't matter. Who cares? There's monsters anyways. To even bring that up is,
I think it's a moot at this point.
The white woman was racist because she had a weird interaction with a black guy. So she's everyone, let's just say 98% of people, 99% of people, white and black, just concede that there was a racial element to why she acted that way. This, no one will talk about it being racist. They'll say it was grisly, it was horrible. These guys are psychotic. No one will say that it was racist.
I was just thinking it would make for an incredible movie, like just a story to tell. But you know they would never make anything like that.
Yeah, this is a horror movie. This is bad. This still isn't bad as the Newsom one. The Newsom one is just terrible. But this is
the woman survived.
Oh, I got it.
Just at least that.
This is horrible though. This is horrible.
4 friends, bound by love and friendship, now lay side by side in the snow, victims of an unthinkable act of cruelty. Back at the triplex, officers uncovered further evidence of the Carr brothers' crime spree. The home, once filled with laughter and warmth, now bore the marks of terror, ransacked rooms, broken items, and signs of the violence that had taken place. Among the most heart-wrenching discoveries was the body of Nikki, HG's beloved schnauzer. The dog, a symbol of loyalty and comfort to HG, had been cruelly beaten and stabbed by the Carr brothers, adding another layer of tragedy to the nights of...
What an asshole.
Oh, now they're assholes. They killed the dog.
Well, no, they're assholes already, but just them being extra with that.
Yeah, I mean they killed everything. Like this ain't what you gonna get with black people. This is not the type of crime that you get with black people that move to your neighborhood. You get like them shooting each other and stray bullets going everywhere. Them maybe robbing you guys, you know what I'm saying? But when black people move in your neighborhood, the crime is usually just them warring or with and feuding with each other. That's probably 75% of the crime. And then the another 25 is you being targeted, you and your property being targeted. But this right here is just, this is not what you have to look forward to when blacks move into your neighborhood. This is some extra shit.
Yeah. But it does speak
the news
the
of the
loudest.
murders spread quick.
Huh?
but it does seem to speak the loudest among the glider population.
Yeah, I mean, these things like this will happen, but they're not going to be like these dudes are depraved. These dudes are psychotic. These dudes, they went in to do this. Now, could you get home invaded and it, end up like this? There's some guys coming to get your stuff. Yeah, but I don't think these guys will come to get stuff. I think these guys will come in to do this to somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly, plunging the Wichita community into a state of grief and fear. Residents, already shaken by the recent murder of Ann Walenta, now face the horror of another senseless crime. The randomness and brutality of the acts left many feeling vulnerable, wondering how such violence could erupt in their quiet city. Support poured in for the victims' families and the lone survivor. HG friends, neighbors, and even strangers reached out to offer condolences, assistance, and solidarity. Vigils were held, and the community came together in mourning, determined to honor the memory of those lost. As the investigation intensified, police worked tirelessly to track down the perpetrators. They knew that capturing the Carr brothers was crucial, not only to deliver justice, but also to restore a sense of safety to Wichita. HG's detailed description of the attackers provided a critical lead, giving investigators a starting point in their hunt for the killers. Meanwhile, media coverage of the crime heightened public interest and anxiety. Local news outlets reported on the progress of the investigation, while national networks picked up the story, bringing the Wichita horror to the attention of the entire country. The chilling details of the crime spree, from the home invasion to the executions in the snow, captivated and horrified audiences. Despite the overwhelming grief, there was also a growing sense of resolve. Law enforcement officials vowed to bring the perpetrators to justice, and the community rallied behind the survivors and victims' families. Following the horrific events of December 14, 2000, Wichita law enforcement officials launched an intensive investigation, knowing that apprehending the perpetrators quickly was crucial for public safety. The first significant break in the case came the morning after the murders when a resident, Christian Taylor, noticed a suspicious truck parked in his apartment complex. He recognized it from news reports as Jason Befort's stolen silver Dodge Dakota. Taylor immediately contacted the police, who responded swiftly. Upon arriving at the complex, officers confirmed that the vehicle was indeed Befort's truck. Their attention soon turned to a second-floor apartment where Reginald Carr was staying. Police observed Reginald attempting to flee by jumping off the balcony, but quickly realized he was surrounded. Realizing escape was impossible, he retreated into the apartment. Police knocked on the door, which was opened by Reginald's girlfriend, Stephanie Donnelly. Officers entered the apartment and arrested Reginald Carr without incident. The search of the apartment yielded a trove.
He was arrested without incident.
Yeah. But hey, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. That was over 20 years ago. Times have changed. They're going to say stuff like that.
It's worse now than it was in the past.
Okay. Yes. I'm playing devil's advocate. That's all.
Of stolen items belonging to the victims, including electronics, clothing, and personal belongings. Reginald's arrest was the first major breakthrough, but police knew they still needed to apprehend his brother. As news of Reginald's arrest spread, Andrew Schreiber, the Carr brothers' first victim from the earlier carjacking, saw his mugshot on television. Recognizing him as one of the men who had abducted and robbed him, Schreiber immediately contacted the police to provide additional information, further solidifying the case against Reginald. Meanwhile, another critical tip came from Toni Green, the mother of Jonathan Carr's girlfriend, Tronda Adams. Green had grown increasingly suspicious of Jonathan after hearing descriptions of the suspects on the news. She found a diamond ring in Jonathan's possession, which she believed could have been stolen during the crime spree. The detail that solidified her suspicions, however, was the white Plymouth parked outside her house, matching the description of a vehicle sought by the police. Acting on Green's tip, police arrived at her home. Upon seeing law enforcement approach, Jonathan Carr attempted to flee on foot. Officers pursued him through the neighborhood, eventually capturing him 2 blocks away. He was arrested without further resistance, bringing an end to the Carr brothers' violent rampage. The arrests of Reginald and Jonathan Carr brought a palpable sense of relief to the Wichita community. After a week of terror, residents could finally feel some semblance of safety returning. However, for the families of the victims and the lone survivor, HG, the arrests were only the beginning of a long journey toward justice. With both suspects in custody, police focused on gathering evidence to build a comprehensive case. The stolen truck, the recovered items, and DNA samples collected from the scene were critical pieces of evidence. HG provided a detailed description of the attackers and the events of that night, offering invaluable testimony that would later play a pivotal role in court. Forensic experts were brought in to analyze the physical evidence. Ballistics tests linked the gun used by the Carr brothers to the shooting.
They were captured with the dead people's personal items. The white girl told them that, yeah, these are the guys that did it. Another white man said, yeah, they robbed me too. You had two white people's word that these black dudes did it, and you still had to go to court and ballistics and fingerprints and analysis and experts.
It's ridiculous. They have a right to a fair trial. I hate to say
a white woman survived and said that they did
the
it.
Survivor should have been enough.
The white woman, she's a white woman.
Yeah, but you still got to go through. You still got to go.
No, but the guy at the real estate guy at his house, that white woman could have got him killed.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
how do you square that?
You don't. I think the Twitterverse or whatever. I think they were being extra. I think they were OD.
Extra, you mean like when they burned down like 20, 30 major cities and changed all the laws?
As I said, I think the Twitterverse
way back 4 years ago.
I know. Yeah, I hear you. No
My issue with some people is that they'll remember Emmett Till, but they won't remember all these cases.
This is horrible. This right here is just horrible.
Equity or something.
Things at the soccer field and the earlier murder of Ann Walenta. DNA analysis further connected the brothers.
Ann Walenta, the white woman,
right?
The woke white woman that they just ran up and blew her brains out, just killed her. You know what I'm saying? That woman, don't forget her. And she got off good.
Do you think if HG did not survive, do you think they would have gotten away with it?
Yes,
no,
I was just going to say. I think they would have gotten away with it.
No, they fucked all those people. They fucked the guys. They fucked the girls. Their sperm was inside of them. No, they wouldn't have got away with it. But it would have been harder to. They could have said, "Oh yeah, it was consensual," and then we left. I don't know what happened after we left. I mean, they could have said something like that, but no, they left all the DNA on the scene. The only thing that HG surviving helped was that the future victims.
That's right, because it would have taken a lot longer to capture them. On the DNA, and I don't know how technology was at the time with.
2000, you had DNA. You had DNA 2000.
Yeah,
but I still think you're overestimating their capabilities, Doc.
It is a small town too.
Yeah, well, hold on. That for cases, you're bringing in everybody. They're bringing in feds and everything for that case. So they fucked 5 people.
Those dudes are weird. Yeah, dude, I ain't gonna lie. Dude on the left does
I guess when you put it that way,
like there's some DNA there, dog.
I didn't even think of that. No, you got a right point. No, you got a point.
No, because you're thinking like, why would they do something where they couldn't get away with it? Like you're thinking logically. You're thinking like a glider. You're trying to insert your glider sensibilities into this crime and shit.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
I
saying
won't
the
say much on
system
how.
lets people get away with shit. And these guys are prime candidates to get away with shit.
Yeah, they've gotten away with shit all their lives. They've been in and out of the system all their lives.
So why do you
I
think
mean,
this will be any different?
right.
What's the severity?
Let's just thank
Yeah, I
God
mean,
the
I get
person
it.
survived. Again, that's the only reason I think they ended up getting
Yeah, and they didn't
put in
burn the
prison.
body. I think burning the bodies would have been what they. But I guess I don't know. I don't. I'm not trying to use sense logic with this one because you can't explain some things people do, man. Salute the bug off, man. Not the bug off.
To the sexual assaults of H.G. and Heather Muller. While the arrests marked a significant milestone, the investigation continued as police worked tirelessly to ensure that the case against the Carr brothers was airtight. The brutality and randomness of the crimes had shocked the nation, and law enforcement officials were determined to deliver justice for the victims and their families. In the days following the arrest of Reginald and Jonathan Carr, Wichita law enforcement officers meticulously pieced together the evidence needed to prosecute the brothers. Physical evidence played a crucial role in linking the brothers to the murders and assaults. Forensic investigators examined the recovered items for fingerprints and DNA. Blood evidence found on some of the stolen clothing matched that of Heather Muller, confirming that Reginald Carr had been in close contact with her during the attack. Perhaps the most damning forensic evidence came from the DNA analysis of swabs taken from H.G., the lone survivor of the massacre. Laboratory tests confirmed that the DNA matched both Reginald and Jonathan Carr, conclusively proving their involvement in the sexual assaults. Furthermore, hair samples and fibers collected from the crime scenes matched those found in the Carr brothers' apartment and vehicles. Ballistics evidence also played a significant role in the investigation. Police recovered shell casings and bullets from the soccer field where the victims were eliminated. Ballistics experts analyzed the markings on the bullets and determined they had been fired from the same weapon used in the earlier shooting of Ann Walenta. Though the firearm itself had been discarded, the consistent ballistic evidence linked the Carr brothers to all the shootings. In addition to physical evidence, eyewitness testimony proved invaluable. H.G. provided a detailed and harrowing account of the events, describing the Carr brothers' actions and behavior during the home invasion, assaults, and executions. The Carr brothers' first known victim also testified, recounting the events of his carjacking and robbery on December 8th. His testimony helped establish a pattern of escalating violence, starting with robbery and culminating in the brutal murders. Schreiber's ability to identify Reginald Carr as one of his abductors further bolstered the prosecution's case. Neighbors and other residents of Wichita also came forward with information. Detectives also obtained surveillance footage from various ATMs where the victims had been forced to withdraw money. The grainy footage showed the victims under duress, accompanied by masked individuals. Though the footage did not clearly show the brothers' faces, it corroborated the timeline provided by H.G. and other witnesses. Further tying the brothers to the crimes was the recovery of personal items from the victims, including a diamond engagement ring Jason Beaufort had purchased for H.G., but had not yet given to her. The ring was found in Jonathan Carr's possession at the time of his arrest. In September 2002, the trial of the Carr brothers commenced. Chief Deputy District Attorney Kim Parker and District Attorney Nola Falston led the prosecution. The defense attempted to argue for leniency by highlighting the brothers' troubled upbringing. The courtroom was packed with family members, media, and concerned citizens, all seeking justice for the victims. Reginald and Jonathan Carr were charged with 113 counts, including capital murder, rape, kidnapping, and robbery. The severity of their crimes prompted the prosecution to seek the death penalty. The defense focused on the Carr brothers' troubled childhood and argued that their actions were influenced by years of abuse and neglect. Psychologists testified about the psychological impact of their upbringing, attempting to evoke sympathy from the jury. However, the evidence of their calculated and brutal actions proved overwhelming. In November 2002, After weeks of deliberation, the jury found Reginald and Jonathan Carr guilty on all counts.
It took the jury weeks to deliberate.
It's crazy.
Fucking hell.
Did Biden try to pardon these guys? Or I wouldn't say pardon.
They want death row, probably so.
Commute.
Let me hear if they want death row.
Well,
The verdict was met with relief and sorrow by the victims'
Not pardon. Commute.
Commuted their death sentence.
Families who had endured the painful trial. The brothers showed no remorse as the verdicts were read. The sentencing phase saw emotional statements from the victims' families. Despite the defense's pleas for leniency, the jury recommended the death penalty for both brothers. Judge Paul Clark formally sentenced Reginald and Jonathan Carr to death, bringing a sense of closure to a grieving community. The Wichita horror left an indelible mark on the city and the nation. The Carr brothers' case remains a somber reminder of the depths of human depravity and the resilience of those who survive such ordeals. For HG and the families of the victims, life would never be the same. Yet their courage and pursuit of justice ensured that the memory of those lost would never be forgotten.
Loved what you saw? Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to join our growing community. Your support keeps us creating.
Any final thoughts, guys?
You know, there was
Shout
a
out to HG.
right? There was a follow-up to this where HG had to show up in court again because I think the brothers were appealing their death sentence.
Yeah, they're probably still appealing it. I forgot how many appeals you got, but yeah, they can just keep dragging them back into court over and over again. Yeah,
And that's an argument for the death penalty.
Yeah.
Salute the boy Kachina. He says, "Hey, and Nation, as a kid, our giant schnauzer would never break eye contact with strangers first, and we never had any trouble. Get a bigger dog."
Yeah, I agree with having a bigger dog. Real quick, that Newsom case. You want to know something that was interesting? Twitter. Well, I don't know if it was Twitter, but let's just say the netizen. They were checking. They were like putting the victim's parents under a microscope to see if they would say something racist or something. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, man. Wow, that was a rough one, man. Salute to everybody, man, out here, man. Great show, man. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Peace out.
Salute to your channel.
Bye.
Long